Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. This is RedSunGamer, Son of a Podcast, episode 36. Today's date, March 24th. In the house we have Steven, back from his...
Kairimashita.
Yes,
I'm back.
You're back from your wonderful date from last week.
Keeping my head connected to my neck, basically.
That's always good. And representing Osaka, we have Kyle, or as they like to call him on YouTube, Michael J. Fox.
Yeah, everyone calls me Michael J. Fox.
Give me a keg of beer.
Do you guys see it? Is there really a Michael J. Fox thing going there?
In what on?
You do have a little bit. It kind of comes in and comes out.
Well, then I'm happy to hear that because I love Michael J. Fox.
That's all good. Yeah, he's a good guy. I really respect him and for what he's going through, and to be able to like stand up and talk about it is
and to keep doing what he's doing too.
Exactly. It's I've got a lot of respect for him.
He actually did a live gig not too long ago for a charity event.
That's right.
Yeah,
he played a guitar and everything on stage.
Big
guy's amazing.
Mad respect, big love, Michael J. Fox. Anyways, welcome guys.
Thank you for, and also thank you for keeping the home fire burning while I was gone.
Yeah, no problem. No problem.
Seems like you guys are going to keep this up once a week.
Well, we said we'd like to keep ourselves a little bit more consistent and every week. So here we are, back again.
We're back.
We're back. Maybe you don't want to hear
your
us.
dad. Yeah.
Yeah, but welcome to 36. We've got Kid Icarus. We've got some Gravity Daze DLC chit-chat.
All
right. Indeed. Part 1 of 3.
Yes.
Yeah.
And see, we have to come back week by week now because that's coming out once a week. It's hitting hard and fast. So
what's
the Gravity Daze download content every Thursday?
Yeah. Oh, is it?
Every Thursday for 3 weeks.
Yeah.
Sweet. Okay.
So if we skip a week or something, then we'll have tons of download content to talk about.
Well, you know what? I'm going to have to finish the damn game first before I can talk about the DLC.
I would recommend that.
Yeah, well, now that I'm off school and I have no school for 3 weeks, game
no
on.
Excuses.
Game on.
Hima Ari.
Yeah, Hima Ari.
You've returned back to Hima Ari. Hima Ari Makuri.
Game on, yes. So we've got Gravity Daze, Kid Icarus. We've got some Zasshi Time. Zasshi Time is back, the famous Zasshi Time for Steven.
Whipped up the smelling salts. They're back. It's back.
Yep. And we've got some tweets as well.
Look like some fun ones. Appreciate the tweets.
Yep. It's always nice to hear people giving us some feedback. So, Steven.
Yo, I'm here.
You, I'm going to say...
Where are you going? What's going on? What's this laugh?
This laughing is you've finally caught up to the rest of us living life of luxury.
Oh.
I did. I heard a rumor about your bath, Steven.
Yeah. Oh, the bath. Oh, yes. Well, Martin's been given major airtime to pontificating on the niceties of toilets.
Dude.
But, yeah. But I mean, like baths have not getting enough representation.
No love.
And I didn't realize it because I wasn't living the life to be able to offer that representation. But after moving from Nagoya into from my not necessarily dilapidated, but wasn't brand new, to my new apartment, which it's about 4 years old. And
that's pretty new.
Yeah, dude, this place. This dude is not going to make sense to you two, but to the rest of the world it should.
Okay.
My ofuro, my bath is auto. It's an auto bath. Meaning bath. It's got
kit in it.
What?
It's got kit.
Yeah. Got the little light going back and forth. No, it's there's a wake up around 6 a.m, dead to the world, and I can just kind of whisk off to the bath and press a button called. They got a Jido. There's a little panel in there now. And there's a round button on there that says Jido, and I press it. And a little woman chimes in. And then I run back to my bed. And it's like my snooze button. It's become in the past 3 months. Really in the past 2, because now I'm finally figuring out how awesome this is.
Right.
And it takes about 10 minutes for it to draw the bath automatically. And basically all you do is plug the drain, and it just fills up the bathtub automatically with hot water to the precise temperature. So I have it set at 43 right now.
Yes.
But you pick your exact temperature.
Exact temperature.
Yes.
Can you pick an exact level as well?
You mean like how high you want the water to go up?
Yes.
I don't. It might do that. There's a lot of things on there, as like a typical auto toilet has. There's a lot of stuff on there that I don't necessarily use. I'm sure it can at least play Pong. But basically, what happens is I run back in bed, and then it says "Ato 5 分でお湯が沸きます," which means that in 5 more minutes we'll have your bath drawn for you, sir. And then when the bath is fully drawn, it just says "お湯が沸きました," which is the hot water is boiling. Basically, is what it sounds like.
Yeah, try and get your balls in there.
It's fantastic. Because I live alone, normally when you have a family, you have to like take turns in the bath, so you can't dirty the bath, right?
Yeah,
you have
tell
to
me
wash,
about it.
Rinse first. But because I live alone, I just plop right in.
You do whatever you want.
You're wasting water, though, man. That's a lot of water to waste.
It is, but I'm catching up after 10 years of not taking baths. So
let me bring something up here, Steve. You said that you do this in the morning?
So here's the thing. I've been lifting. I've been a gym rat for the past week, and my gym's 24 hours, and it's about 3 minutes walk away. So actually, I've been bathing to keep the soreness down because my muscles are sore. So I'm actually bathing in the morning and at night. Okay. I'm so into this right now.
Yeah,
nobody
that's great.
does that. Nobody does that, by the way, which is probably a good idea.
Well, yeah, in Japan, I live with a Japanese family, as I've said before, and they set the bath at night. As my mother-in-law is preparing dinner, she presses the button, and like you said, the cute girl comes on and says, "Well, I imagine she would be cute if she had,
She's got to be. It's in, yeah."
She's just a voice, but
is the button
we have a little chime on ours. I don't know about yours, but ours comes in with this little chime that lasts for like 10 seconds.
Yes,
and then she comes on, and ours is
I think it's
ours is like "ofuro ga wakimashita." Ofuro ga wakimashita. She always tells you twice.
Yes,
and you just know that
it's a rapper
to go. Yeah. But yeah, ours is at night, and so to be honest with you, I get home pretty late from work some days. So I don't take a bath. I end up taking a shower in the morning. But when I tell people that here in Japan, I am seen as a blasphemer.
For what, taking a shower?
First of all, not taking an actual bath, just taking a shower. Second of all, for not doing it at night.
My wife always has a go at me when I don't take a bath. I just take a shower.
Yes.
I'm like, what's the deal? She's like, well, before you go to bed, you should take a bath because you'll warm your body up. And when you go to bed, you'll be warm in bed and you'll be able to sleep better. That's her.
Plus, your sheets stay clean for a long time.
That's another thing.
Yeah, but I'm getting a shower. I'm getting a shower at night. It's not like I've just gone to bed in my sweat.
Right.
So I still had a shower.
For me, in the morning, a shower is a big thing because it wakes me up. I'm still in that kind of mode.
Exactly.
I was always that way in America. I wake up early. I'm not a morning person, but I get in the shower, and that'll do it for me.
Boom. Your offer, when you fill it up, is the button in the bathroom or is it around the house?
It's in the kitchen.
It's in the kitchen.
And then there's 2 panels, one in the kitchen and then one in the bathroom.
So
I think that's very normal.
Yeah, you can set it up from wherever then, right?
Wherever then. There's no remote control like some of the more recent ones we were talking about.
Like mine. I got one with the remote, but no, they didn't buy it. But what you can do is you've got this like a little LCD panel, and you can set it so it fills the bath. It can empty the bath. You can say how high you want the water level, you want what temperature. Yeah, you can do it all from within your bed.
Yeah, as Steve was saying, this is essentially like an alarm clock, but it's a bath.
Yeah.
It's my snooze button.
Yeah. And the thing I want to bring up that we were talking about before is when I was in the States or abroad, of course, as Martin is from the UK, I didn't take very many baths because you fill it up with hot water and it's wonderful and you get in. It feels great for about 3 minutes.
Yeah.
And then it becomes room temperature and you just want to get out. Right. But here in Japan, they have this wonderful, wonderful feature in the baths called oidaki. And if you there's a simple button and it says oidaki. If you press the oidaki button, it basically reboils your water or reheats it to the temperature
it
you
heats
ask
it, and then a little bit trickles out by your feet.
Yes, and it ends up basically recirculating your bath to the right temperature, so you can have an unlimited bath. You could stay in there for hours if you wanted to.
Yes.
You could also like drain it in a little bit and then do tashiu, which is just add hot water.
Yep.
There's that. You want a little more? It's like someone big fat dude got in right before you.
The thing is,
all the water out.
The thing is with Japanese baths, they're not long. They're not like rectangle shape like they are in the West. They're like square.
But they're very deep.
They're extremely deep, yes.
And the water usually, when you get in, sometimes the water splashes over into the area where you rinse off.
Yeah, which is fine because
since it's not a unit bath, right?
Yeah, it's a tiled draining area. The whole room, not just the bath itself, but next to that where the shower is usually located, it's all one room with a big drain.
Yeah,
so.
right. I love that. When you get in and it just like overflows and the sound of that.
It's amazing.
I love that. You can't put a price on that.
No, you can't put a price on having a nice clean ass as well, using a toilet. A bidet.
I'm a big fan
the shower didn't do it.
You know what? When I went to the States, and and also the UK and Australia when I went there as well. You know, I felt so dirty not being able
awful, right?
It's awful. Like how much paper they use and stuff, and you got nothing to clean it off. And if you got a hairy one or you got Klingons,
that's why
it's just not right. It's wrong. But in Japan, it's like, yeah, you can sit there, you get a nice spray of hot water up your ass, your all hairy ass is all clean and stuff. And you can use two pieces of paper, and you're done, and you're out, and it's you feel fresh, especially in the summer when you're sweating.
Cultural notes here, yeah.
Well, that's the thing, though, because we don't have that to wash it. We've got really strong flushing functionality, though.
Yes.
I mean, you could drop a rock down there, and kids they spend 10 years of their life just dropping things down the toilet because it just sucks everything down.
You mean in the States?
Yeah, in the States, really powerful flushers. Yeah, here in Japan, they're not as powerful.
Not as powerful.
I think it's because of that, and then the water level is a little higher in the States. I always feel.
Yeah, I think so too.
Right, but still, it's nothing worse. I feel it's like the worst thing in the world now when I go abroad, and I just feel really dirty and.
No, after I was a student in Japan for a year, and I had to go back. This was a few years ago. I always I hated it, not having all of the functions of a Japanese toilet. I mean, even just the heated seats.
Yeah.
Many toilets in Japan have heated seats. In the winter, it gets very cold, and the seat will be heated for you. So when you sit down, you have a warm welcome waiting for you.
You're lucky. The first homestay I had when I went to Kansai Gaidai, with the school that you and I studied at.
Yep.
My homestay family lived on the sticks, and they had a non-flushing toilet, just a pit.
Oh no!
You know those old toilets?
Yeah.
You go in there at 12 at night, and
it reeks,
all those different.
Right?
It reeks, but it had like a draft. And it was you never knew how quite big it was down there, and you always remember those like yokai monster books, and they always had like a monster for the toilet, and
that's why, they still in my neighborhood now. Still, I live up on the mountain on the side of Osaka, but in my neighborhood now, people still don't have toilets that flush. There's a car that drives by. I don't know, well, not a car, but a truck, I guess you could say, that drives by.
A lorry comes by.
Once a week or once, I don't know, every other week, but it drains the toilets out. And when that truck is in the neighborhood, plug your nose.
I know, I remember it, man.
Awful. It's like an outhouse, basically.
For a full semester, I was living that life.
Oh, man. Yeah, I mean, I could have that, but so many people out there probably would just not.
And it's not, you don't get any, like, closure because when you release it, there's no sound.
And you're
just like, okay, did we go? And
are we good?
Usually people turn around and look. Some people look. Oh, there it is. There he is. Goodbye. Sayonara. 21 gun salute. But it's gone.
Just drops into the abyss.
Just drops into the abyss.
I think we need to get off this toilet talk.
All right. Okay. I wanted to ask, since we're on this cultural note about baths, do you guys do anything with your bath water? Do you just drain it when you're done?
No, I use it for plants outside. I've got a front and back garden.
Okay,
and
sounds
I
good.
use it.
Plants as well.
I put them on the plants, and on the third floor as well. On the third floor, I've got like a huge veranda, and put them up there as well. I've got plants up there also. So I reuse.
Wash clothes probably is another one.
Yeah, my family takes a big hose and they connect the bath to the washing machine because the washing machine is traditionally kept in the room right outside the bath.
Yeah, same as here.
Kind of the mid area there. You're not quite in the bath, but you're in the the room
where you get undressed, right?
Yeah, exactly. And my family here, they have a hose that the bath ends up you put it in the bath and the laundry machine ends up sucking the water in, and they can get 3 or 4 loads of laundry done. It filters the water, so it's not like you're having this dirty water coming through.
Yeah, same as me.
Yeah, it takes 3 or 4, and it does 3 or 4 loads, which for a family, we have about probably 3 or 4 loads of laundry. And here in Japan, I don't know about you guys, my family pretty much does laundry every day.
Yes.
Which I found pretty psychotic at first, but a lot of it I found out, and it makes sense, is due to the humidity in the summer. You don't want stinky clothes hanging around for longer than a day, especially with the humidity. You'll have a very stinky house or apartment. So, as when I was single, I can attest to. When I lived here on my own in my own apartment. I definitely did not do my laundry more than about once a month. No, it wasn't that bad, but it was pretty bad. But yeah, my family here, they do the laundry every day. Pull the water from the bath, which was left over from the night before. Filter it out and clean the clothes.
Oh, the thing is, in Japan, you don't get into the bath full of like soap and stuff. You get into the bath after you've cleaned yourself.
Yes, yeah. You use this. You stand up with the shower. You rinse yourself off. You do your shampoo. You do your soap. You rinse yourself completely off of any soap, shampoo,
completely is kind of dubious though, because like if you go to like the onsen baths, they have a little dish. And you can actually scoop up some hot water, sprinkle it over you, and get right in. And a lot of like the older dudes, they just get in as is.
Yeah,
that's kind of nasty.
They always have the rules written that say don't do that, but they're never going to tell you otherwise, essentially. So you're right. And yeah, some people are so like tekito, so like
just roundabout, barely do it, go through the motions.
Like, kind of scoop the water out of the bath, kind of pour it over their shoulder and call it good. But yeah, you're right. But yeah, I mean, essentially, you're supposed to basically, I mean, the bath is kind of the relaxing part. It's not to really clean you off. It's like, Otsukare, you worked so hard today. Get in the bath and spend like many like businessmen, even who work like super overtime, like 10 or 12 hours a day, they'll still spend like 30 minutes to an hour in the bath every night.
They usually call it, they call it nagaburo, which is in the bath for a long time. Yeah.
Yep. That's a big thing. So
yeah, I bathe my daughter and my son every night.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's a lot of fun. But
a lot of the water, Martin, regarding the long baths, is your wife or does your in-law, do they have like any of those accessories for like smartphones or something to wrap it up in so it's waterproof? When they take a bath, they can listen to something.
Oh, they've got they've got like a CD player.
It's a big business.
You want to know how my wife does it, Steve?
We were talking a little bit. It's a bit personal
about how my wife. She's a bit of a gamer, so she has like a PSP. She has a Vita now, and she has a DS. She will just take her handheld console and stick it in a Ziploc bag and seal it.
That's the ghetto way of doing it.
And play it through the Ziploc bag. So when she gets addicted, particularly recently she played Gyakuten Kenji 2. I think it's Ace Investigations 2. It's not actually out in English, but she was playing it, and it's a long, long game. And yeah, every night she would stick her DS in the Ziploc bag and play it just like that through the bag. You're right, it's totally ghetto, but it's funny.
Does it work?
Yeah, it works.
Right, guys, games.
That was kind of game talk, but yeah.
Yeah, it was at the end. Kyle brought the games in there. Thanks,
there
Kyle.
We go. There's a transition. Here we go.
Right, from a DS, let's go to the 3DS.
Nice.
Kid Icarus.
Yes, indeed.
I wanted to like have that sound effect. You know how, I'm sure you guys know if you played Kid Icarus, even the 3DS version, when you select it from your 3DS menu, it plays the classic Kid Icarus sound effect. It's the same one that plays in Kid Icarus. I can't remember exactly how it goes, but I was going to bring my 3DS and have that sound play as we introduced Kid Icarus, and then I didn't. But anyway,
you didn't?
Yeah. Well, my 3DS is upstairs.
Oh, okay. Well, when you press the what is it? When you highlight?
When you highlight it, yeah.
Oh, okay. So
it's kind of like a something, along those lines. And now I'm completely blank. But
okay, does it sound anything like this?
That might be exactly what I was
I think
going.
that's my bathtub music.
There you go. Yeah.
Well, that's directly from the 3DS. So
Right. That's what I was going for. Thank you, Martin, for filling in for me there. But
No
yes,
problem.
that's welcome, Kid Icarus.
Kid Icarus, who's
40 out of 40.
So wait. We've all three of us have played this, right?
we sure have.
Nice.
I think if we add up all the levels we made it through, we've almost completed the game. Because there's there's 25 levels in this, and I'm like on level 8. Where are you guys?
Yeah, I'm on 8 as well,
5.
which I feel sad saying because, well, I'll tell my story in a sec, but go ahead, Martin.
All I was going to say is I'm on level 5.
Okay.
Mine was mostly because I played a lot of online play. So that's my excuse. And I've actually played a couple levels over on the hardest level. So
Yeah, I cranked my difficulty for a few of them just to see exactly what we were looking at. I also messed around with the controls a lot at the beginning just to see what was working. We can get to that in a little bit, but first I guess I have a little anecdote or a little story about Kid Icarus.
Yeah, go for it.
Yeah, it came out on Thursday here in Japan, which was just 2 days ago.
Sure, 22nd.
On Monday, 3 days before release, I was in Nipponbashi, Denden Town, Osaka.
Sure you want to give this out?
Well, I don't mind. Just a bit here, a bit of info. But I was in Denden Town with my wife, kind of on a date, and even on our dates...
Electric Town, right?
Yeah, Electric Town. My wife...
Habara of Osaka, right?
Exactly, yeah. I've mentioned my wife likes gaming a little bit, so I tend to be able to drag her to game stores a bit. She doesn't like to go overboard with it, but we were in Super Potato in Denden Town, the one on the main strip. And yeah, keep this hush-hush, but I've bought, we call it Flying Gets. I've bought Flying Gets from there before, but it's usually on Wednesday or Wednesday night, the day before a game comes out. They'll sell it early. You just have to ask them at the counter, and you have to pay in cash, and you don't get a receipt. Because they don't want it being known that they're the ones breaking street date. But if they sell it before anyone else, then they'll probably get more sales because people will buy it there early. So yeah, I've purchased games like Monster Hunter Tri-G on 3DS. I got there a day early, thanks to that. And so that was when I found out that, hey, these guys sell games early. So anyway, they had like a trainee working on Monday, a new employee. And I was walking around the store, and I heard the old employee talking to the new employee, and they were opening boxes in the back. And all I roughly overheard was like, "Oh yeah, we can sell it if they go ahead and ask for it." And I was like, wait. I was going, it's Monday. Nothing in Japan comes out on like Tuesday or Wednesday. The game day in Japan is Thursday. Everything really comes out on Thursday. And so after hearing that, I had to, just my curiosity had to be sated. I walked to the counter, and I was like, "Do you guys have Kid Icarus?" And just kind of smiled, and they were like, yeah, we can sell it to you. I can't give you a receipt.
It's a great training opportunity.
Exactly, yeah. I was like, I didn't mention, but I was like, I kind of overheard you guys. No. But so I walked up, and I was like, "Do you guys have Kid Icarus?" And they were like, "Yeah." I was like, "Well, what's the price?" And it's not quite like the 15% off when they break street date, but it's still decently like 10% off or something. And since I was there anyway, and I would have had to take a train to pick it up and spend train money anyway, it's totally worth it for me. So yeah, I ended up buying it. I also asked them if they had the other games. This is Monday night. This is 3 days early. I asked them if they had Devil May Cry HD Collection and Little Busters, which was coming out on Vita. They had everything. And they were like, "Yeah, we'll sell you whatever you want."
Like Christmas on the 22nd.
It was crazy. But I only ended up getting Kid Icarus, but I was so stoked. Which is kind of sad because, as we've already mentioned, I only got to level 8. I feel like I've let all of our
You're not worthy.
I feel totally unworthy. I get the game super early, and I haven't even been like halfway through it yet.
Oh, don't worry. The guys on 8.4, they didn't get any further either.
Well, we can still happily talk about it because we've all put time into it. I mean, just because I'm on level 8, I've probably put 4 or 5 hours into it.
Right.
A lot of it
like
was...
the Yari Komido, like, in other words, like how deep I played it up until that level 8 is pretty, I've tinkered a lot around with it a little bit. Quite a bit, so... Yeah. I think there's a lot to talk about.
Controls was a big thing for me, especially as I'm left-handed. Are either of you guys left-handed?
Nope.
No.
Okay.
This game was not made for you.
Because essentially, if you're left-handed, you can't really play the game properly because you use the stylus in one hand, right? And essentially, you're supposed to have the analog...
Your right hand normally.
Yeah, you're supposed to have the analog nub in your left hand, the slide pad, and you use your right hand for the stylus to aim at the enemies on the screen. So for me, I'm left-handed, so I
the
spent
left
a lot
trigger,
of time,
right? The left trigger to shoot.
Yeah, exactly. So I spent a lot of time tinkering with the controls, and I have the 3DS add-on slide pad expansion. So I figured, well, I'm left-handed. The easiest way for me to play, right, will be to pop it into the add-on slide pad. I'll use my right hand for the slide pad, and I'll use my left hand for the, for the aiming and stuff with the stylus, right? That makes sense, right? I'm left-handed.
It does, yep.
It felt awful, absolutely horrible. And I was wondering, like, why does this not feel right? And you know what I realized is, when do you ever control a character with your right hand? Period, ever, in any game. Can you guys think of any instance where you would ever use your right hand to control the movement of a character?
No.
And it totally threw me off.
What do you mean? Oh, the movement? No way.
Picking up a DualShock, and no matter if you're left-handed or right-handed, and the left hand will be your camera and the right hand will move your character. Would that just not feel completely crazy and wacky to you?
Yes. Sounds a bit daft.
And even as a left-hander, it's completely how I felt. Flipping it around does not really solve the problem. It really doesn't. It's like if you went to an arcade and you had the buttons on the left hand of a stick and you use a stick with your right hand. Even as a left-hander, that feels horrible to me. It's not going to feel right.
So what did you do to right that wrong?
Sure. I flipped through every single control style available. I mapped the buttons to various things, and in the end, I went back to default. I'm using my left hand to control the character, which feels the most natural, and I'm using my right hand with the stylus to aim. You can use your right hand on the face buttons. It turns the 4 face buttons into an arrow, I guess, like a D-pad, and you move it around.
Right.
I didn't really like that either. For me, I am somewhat ambidextrous. For example, things like eating cereal or using a spoon or a fork, brushing my teeth. I do all of that with my right hand. I write with my left hand, but I do many, many things right-handed. I play golf or baseball right-handed. So in the end, I got used to it, and I feel like I have a full grasp of the controls now that I've spent enough time with that setup. But honestly, for about an hour at the beginning was just me flipping through every different option to see what worked for me.
Honestly, though, just to interject, even if you're right-handed, we're not that much better. I mean, there's still issues with it. So sure. I think it's equally jacked for everyone, at least in terms of you have to forget everything you learned about traditional controls and come in with an open mind, and then you got to break through this, and then you kind of emerge going, okay, I get it a little bit. But I don't know. How are you guys? Did you emerge okay?
I feel like it's good. As I know Martin will probably bring up, the flying segments feel a lot better than the ground segments. Am I right on that assumption, Martin?
Yeah, to me, I'm not too sure if I am actually enjoying the on-foot sections.
Oh, that bad?
Yeah, just the structure of just in case people are coming in cold, the structure of each chapter is you start with a flying mission because he can actually fly for about 5 minutes and then it wears off. Then he ends up going to land, and then there's a boss. And that each chapter is designed that way. But yes, go ahead.
It's essentially stage 1 flying, which controls like I don't want to say controls, but acts like a rail shooter. Like Star Fox or Sin and Punishment, something like that.
I'd say like Space Harrier.
Sure, Space Harrier is a good example.
Right. Because you definitely have to dodge things while you're shooting, even though it's a rail shooter.
Yes. So you're dodging as you're going through, and then like Steve said, you land. And then the on-foot controls are different. The problem with the on-foot controls, and correct me if you guys feel like it's something else, but on the bottom screen, not only are you targeting with the stylus, you also have to flick the stylus to move the camera.
Yes.
So if you drag it around the screen, you're targeting on a screen without moving anything. But then as you flick it, you move the camera, and as you're doing that and also using the analog, the pad, the slide pad, you run around with the slide pad, but to dash or to run, you have to let it go and then push it again really fast. Yeah. So between all of these different things that you have to do with your hands, it feels, like Steve said earlier, very different from anything that you're used to before.
It does, and that's probably what I don't like about it at all. I don't think I like the animation of Pit either. He looks like a monkey. The way he runs,
the way he walks,
the way he
really
walks.
stupid.
Okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
I totally agree with you on that. He definitely, his knuckles aren't dragging along the ground, but the way he walks, you would think he is.
I'm
looks
not going to
like-
lie. I don't know how much you guys are stretching here. I haven't noticed it at all. Maybe.
Really, watch
it's
the
a-
running. He's galloping like a monkey.
He reminds me of like one of the apes from you know that new movie Planet of the Apes.
Yes.
It just reminded me of that straight away, and I was like, really?
Maybe honestly, I was
Yeah.
busy either fighting the controls or fighting my other big. And it sounds like we're crapping on the game here. I don't know about you guys. I'm not trying. I guess we're getting the bad points out of the way first before we talk about the charm. But
Right.
for me, I got hit, or I have been hit, and I've been cranking the difficulty up and keeping it normal and up again to kind of mess with it to see what it does. I've been hit by so many bullets that I felt like I could never even see in the first place, even in the flying parts.
Well,
that-
let me get that out. I just want to confirm something, because when you're shooting and moving, you're 75% slower when
Yes.
as opposed to just moving around without shooting.
Right. It's kind of a, I don't want to say classic, but even in some shmups, they have that thing like in Espagluta 2, where if you're shooting, your character will completely slow down. So you have to stop shooting as a strategic measure to avoid getting shot.
Yes.
Right.
Yes. Yeah, exactly
So,
right.
but besides that, even though when you're not shooting, you're talking about.
I'm
When
not
you're-
saying constantly, but there are times when like all of a sudden I'll be hit. And it happens more on the ground, obviously, because it's more of an open area. When you're flying, you're not getting hit from behind. Whereas when you're on the
Right.
ground, you can get hit from behind. But there will be times, and again, mostly on the ground, but also when flying, where all of a sudden pit will reel back and my life will go down, and I'll just be like, what just hit me? I have like no idea where it came from.
Yeah.
And I found that a little bit
It has
frustrating.
orange indicators when you're on foot to tell you what's around you. They kind of flash in the corners and on above to tell you that there's enemies around you. But I think that pit is a little bit too close to the screen, because when the environment seems really closed in, because they don't give you the field of view that you're given when you're on foot is very narrow. So you can't see what's around you in the like an arena, and yeah, you will start to get hit, and you'll be like, "What's just hit me?" And then, I mean, especially if you start ramping the difficulty level up, and you've got a lot of enemies on screen at once, and like you're attacking what's in front of you, what you can see, but there's all kinds of stuff all around you can't see because your playing field of view is really limited, really narrow, and I don't like that. Maybe they should have pulled it out a little bit, but I don't know. I'm not sure. Is that how you guys feel, or am I the only one?
Well, I think the whole, just going back to what Kyle said, and then this touches on what you're asking, is when you're aiming and then sliding together. The aiming, once you get it down, it doesn't take that long to climb the learning curve. But when you're trying to slide, you're flicking it, so it's very imprecise, and it's hard to go, well, I want to move from 12 o'clock to like 9 o'clock, but you can't really gauge that with a flick.
No.
So I found myself trying to because if you take the nub and just move left twice, he'll do like a quick dash.
Yes.
Right.
So I would sometimes if it gets crazy, I would just dash all the way to the edge of the play field and then try to get out of all the fire and then turn around.
Right. Yeah,
So-
I found myself doing the exact same thing.
Mm-hmm.
And that's the only way to just kind of pull back.
And now, having said what you just said, Steve, this adds on to that. When they first announced that they were shipping this game with a built-in stand, everyone thought that they were pretty nuts. I mean, a stand. I mean, what in the world? But having played the game, yeah, like what Steve was saying, as you're trying to use your right hand for the stylus, and you're trying to flick around like pretty much like crazy with your left hand. You have to like recenter
Like spinning
the
a
slide
globe
pad,
almost.
and then, yeah, exactly, and then flick it back out, because you'll have a lot of bullets come close to you, and if you just casually move your character with the slide pad to the left or the right, you won't dodge it in time. You have to give it a hard flick so that your character kind of like jets over. And as you're doing this, I could totally see myself like throwing my 3DS across the train on accident, because you only essentially have it in one hand.
Right.
And you're trying to use your thumb to flick it left or right.
Especially if they break.
Yeah, exactly. So I've found that I can't play this game well standing up. I have to sit down and prop it on my leg, So maybe I'll sit, with my knee up a little bit and have that act as my stand. I don't really want to play it on the stand itself just because it feels somewhat strange. Am I alone in thinking that the whole stand thing is odd?
No, I need the stand. I tried to play it in bed, resting on my knee, and I couldn't play it. And then, especially with the 3D on as well, I kept moving, slight movements, and you lose the 3D.
Okay.
Because of what you're doing,
which is bad because it's the 3D is
phenomenal. Is beautiful. Yeah, it's phenomenal. Yeah, it's really good. So that a slight movement, because as you've already mentioned, you're flicking it to move the camera and stuff, especially on foot, and you've got the circle pad, and you've got your index finger on the trigger. So doing all of these movements at once and trying to hold the 3DS with just your left hand and using the stylus, it's moving quite a lot. So I don't know. I feel I need to use the stand.
I don't know about you guys, but I mean, because of the mission, you start off with like the space harrier flying around, then you go to on ground, and then by the time I get to the end boss, my drumstick muscles, like in my thumb, are completely shot.
I feel the same way. My hand felt so tired after playing this game for just a couple hours. Yeah.
Mine too.
I thought it might just be me because I'm not right-handed, like I said, but I was using the stylus in my right hand.
Because it's us too. But because of that, I gotta say, like the combat really got high octane for me because
sure,
because I would do something stupid, my health would be all the way down, and then I get to the end boss, I've got nothing left. But I would be like, I don't want to die because you collect hearts throughout the whole game
and food as well, right? And that replenishes you.
Right. Yeah. Precisely. And by the end, if you die, you lose all these hearts.
Yeah, the hearts are like currency
in the beginning.
Yeah.
Right. It's the currency of the game, and so if you die there, you have to go back and you spill some hearts and you lose them. So I'm really sweating, dropping drips, and
I felt the same way.
Really high octane because of the squirreled controls and my muscle just tensing up and got to take another hand bath, just like every other mission.
All right, guys. I feel like we have kind of crapped on this a little bit. Why don't we flip to the positive side of the coin here? What do you guys like about this game?
I don't think we were crapping on it. I think we're just pointing out a few of the things we don't like.
It's a hurdle that everyone's
going to go through, right?
In some way.
Everyone's going to go through the same. I mean, everyone's not going to pick it up straight away and go, "Yeah, this controls feels great."
That's the thing I kind of felt bad about with this game, to be honest with you guys. When I really love a game right off, I don't want to do anything at all besides play that game.
Yeah.
And with this game, obviously I picked it up, 5 days ago, and I've only got like 5 hours into it. I don't want to. I'm going to finish it and probably play the crap out of it because I have really enjoyed it. But it for me, it just didn't have that like gotta play it every waking second feel to it.
I think you have to build up your muscles a little bit in your hand. Really, truly, I believe it.
Yeah, I feel like the more I play, the more I feel pulled by it. But it's like this. Oh, if you just put a little bit more into it, instead of this like, holy crap, I must keep going. This is so amazing.
Well, I played 6 hours today of it, like multiplayer and my. It's not in pain right now, but literally when you get to the end of a mission that's 15 minutes, it's just I have to like put it down for a while.
Have you got
GK time, yeah.
Icarus finger?
And it's funny.
It's a drumstick muscle. I don't know what that muscle is, but
yeah, I mean, Nintendo's done this before. They do it actually a lot these days. But after every couple of missions, you'll get the little pop up after a mission, and it's like, why don't you take a break?
It was saying that during the mission, actually.
Oh, really? I haven't seen it.
The chick was saying that. Yeah, she was. Because there's banter throughout the whole thing, and
banter.
They were saying
nonstop. Really, I must have missed that. But yeah, I'll get the messages constantly after clearing a boss. You go back to like a hub. There's like a hub where you can synthesize weapons, which is really cool, and you can spend your parts. Right. Yeah, it's great. But I'll get a little pop up, and it's like, hey, why don't you take a break? Why don't you stop playing for a little bit? Yeah, but I do want to mention real quick. Part of the reason, like, I feel like, okay, I've had it for 5 days, I've only played it for 5 hours. As we mentioned last week, it's the end of the semester here in Japan, and I've worked every day, including today.
We understand. It's okay.
Yes, since I picked it up.
Yeah,
so.
No excuses, man.
Rationalization.
Don't worry. It's just real world.
Real world. First world problems for me, working.
Exactly, no problem. Okay, so
But what you want to talk about aspects you really liked about it? Because there's quite a few in here.
There's a lot.
There's
Let's
a lot.
get into that.
Well, actually, I just want to say the commentary. I love the music, right? The music in this game is absolutely phenomenal. It's beautiful.
Amazing.
It's big orchestral pieces. I mean, I think this is this is where Japan really excels, is this type of music. I don't think this type of
draws
music
you into RPG.
Yeah, this type of music just does not come from the West. This is Japanese only, and it's
the opening
amazing.
chapter, the music, they've got a pan flute.
Yeah,
It's
seriously.
wonderful. I've got it on right now, just very hush hush, but it's soothing.
Yeah,
it's
Absolutely
saying
amazing.
come to Papa.
So the thing,
come to RPG Papa.
The thing I'm saying, the music is beautiful, but I think it's ruined with the constant running commentary throughout the game. Don't get me wrong, the commentary is funny, and like Pitts is a sarcastic. He's really sarcastic.
When Paltina is herself,
and
too.
yeah, and it's got a lot
She's
of
sarcastic, and he's really positive.
But it's got a lot of personality to it, and it's great. But I think it's too much because I can't hear the music.
Okay, so I think it's just right. But
Okay,
maybe it's because of the banter is so. To me, it's I'm laughing like every other.
I have too. I definitely have. For me, I think I might be in the middle of you two because I was really looking forward to listening to the music on this one. We talked about last week who did the soundtrack for this, and it's an epic gathering of soundtrack of composers.
Yeah.
But so I was really looking forward to it, and so every game kind of at the beginning has its bit of tutorial or its bit of let me tell you about this. So as I'm playing through like the first mission, and literally Icarus and Paltina, they don't stop talking.
Can't you in the options though change the voice volume low
you can
and then
change the voice
music volume high?
Sure, you might be able to. I haven't. I'm not 100% positive. To
Usually
be honest,
you can do that.
Yeah, you
it
can.
wasn't something I was shooting for, but yeah, I just noticed, like Martin said right away. I was like, all right, there's going to be some epic music here. And all you're hearing is Icarus and Paltina going back and forth, which I agree with Steve, though, on this, that I'm laughing. Like, I'm sitting there, like, there have been points where I've literally laughed out loud playing this game, kind of cracking up, because it really is, there's like a
driving course in the game.
Yeah.
And you're in there, and suddenly there's a vehicle, and it's like clearly someone made a driving course.
Right.
And to learn how to drive a car. And then there's this purple monster going around, and he's like, I'm trying to learn how to drive. And you're like, what? And like you're driving around the map, no one's shooting at you. It's just a tutorial to learn how to use it. And I'm just like, what? He's what? And then there's like these horsies. And they've got their outstretched arms, and it's like they're holding onto these wheels, and they're spinning around in circles, and it's like, what the WTF is going on here? And
the randomness to that period is just hilarious because you're going through this place that it's just this random level that the enemy has kind of laid out, and you're trying to basically get to the end, and you come across the driving course, like Steve said, and like if you were like urgently going through this level trying to get to the end to find the boss, you would be like rushing. But Paltina and Icarus, they kind of stop and they're like, well, hey, we don't know if this will come in handy later, but it might. So why don't you just take a drive? Get used to the controls here, take a look, drive around the course. It might be nice. And Icarus is like, all right, let's do it. And I'm just like, really? That's friggin' nuts. What? Like, we're going to drive this car around. And at that point, like Steve said, nobody's attacking you. You're not doing anything important with the driving, but it's the driving tutorial suddenly in the middle of this important level where you're like searching out the boss.
I loved that.
Yeah. I'm agreeing with that completely. I thought that was hilarious. It was a nice, like, it's that touch that you don't always get in games where
like they say, like, this is what they would say in a video game.
Right.
Something like that.
But I just cracked up. I was just like, this is ridiculous. So I get in the car and I drive around a little bit. And after you do that, and it's just like, all right, shall we go on? And you go on and you hit another driving course. There's like another one not too far later. And it's just like, all right, well, this is a little bit different, but why don't we figure out how to do this? And like the way that they integrated the tutorials to make them not like seem boring or to not seem, I don't want to say intrusive because suddenly they're there in the middle of the level, but it is kind of like awesome. It's kind of.
It's not like they didn't give you good tutorials because there's 12 minutes of tutorial videos right in the beginning to start the game, and they're really elegantly done to explain all the difficult things that's unique about the game.
Right. The thing about the music I wanted to say is when you finish a level, it unlocks the sound test in the option menu, so you can go and listen to
Which
it.
is very Sakurai. Everything about this game. I mean, Sakurai is the guy who was behind the whole thing. He also did, for those of our listeners who don't know, he did like the Smash Brothers games. And the menus of this game completely remind me of the menus in Smash Brothers Brawl.
Right.
Everything about it just screams Sakurai in that, things like that unlock, so you can go ahead and listen to them later in a gallery. I'm sure you guys have seen the egg shooter, not mini game, but one of your places in your hub, you get these eggs, and at the beginning,
them in a frying pan, you mean?
Yeah, you pop them in a frying pan and you shoot them into the sky. And at the beginning, you start out with like 100% chance of unlocking something. It's exactly like the little gachapon machine in Smash Brothers, where you get tokens, and in Kid Icarus, you're getting eggs, and you use them to essentially unlock things and many different things. And the more you unlock, the more eggs you have to use to get a higher percentage, which is just awesome because it just feels like there's so much to do. And you can also use your 3DS tokens, and each token can become an egg, which is really cool too, because it's another nice use for tokens. And even on top of all of that, you guys know about the big board. There's a big board, essentially, which...
It's like an achievements wall, basically.
Exactly, with tons of achievements on here.
And some of them are... 120, actually.
Okay, 120, yeah, so that's great. There's 120 achievements on the board, and some of them are pretty easy. Some of them are very easy. Some of them you'll just get playing through the game, and others will be quite hard. But unlocking those can also earn you various prizes, and it unlocks an image behind it. But that just screams Sakurai to me. Like, even if you play through the game once, probably twice, 3 times, there's no way you're going to clear the board. Just like playing Smash Brothers for like 50 hours even, there's no way you would unlock everything. All of the gachapon figures and all of the, just all of the unlockable stuff. He just crams his game with content.
It is. It's the sheer volume of it.
It's amazing.
Yeah. Well, Martin, like beyond the music, like what aspect did you like a lot?
I thought the 3D was extremely well done, or it is extremely well done. I was kind of surprised. I didn't think it was going to be as good as it was, but the amount of depth you get with this game is quite surprising. The thing I like about this as well is, it's the weapon menu, where you can create your own weapons.
The fusion thing.
Yeah, the fusion thing. Because there's as you're going through the game, you're constantly being given new weapons over and over and over again. And I was thinking, wow, I'm on level 5 and they're still giving me new weapons, but I've got like 6 different weapons already.
And they're all very unique.
Yeah, and they're very unique.
They're almost like different characters.
Yeah, there are many different weapon types, and then amongst those types, there are many different weapons, period.
Yeah, and then you've got this, like this game is like a puzzle game. You've got like a square, and you've got elements to different weapons of different levels.
Yes.
And you can place these...
it's like kind of packing a tight bento box. You got to put all the little pieces in there.
Yeah, or like playing Tetris. I mean, each ability is like a Tetris piece or a part of your bento box. And you get a box and you have to try and you can rotate them, for all 4 ways.
Yes.
And you try to pack these into the box to see how many abilities that you can get into your grid.
Yeah, but it's really smart because you've got four levels as well. I don't know if you've noticed. There's 4 levels.
4 different kinds. 4 sets.
4 sets, yeah.
Yes.
So at the moment, my first set is completely full, and I've oriented the square, the blocks, or the shapes to get everything in on one board.
Really? So you completely filled it up?
Yeah.
Awesome.
You can also do omakase. I don't know what it is in English, but just like kind of leave it up to it, and it will handle it.
Yeah, you can do that, but it's more efficient if you actually look at it properly and do it properly. But yeah, I mean, I was really surprised with this weapon fusion. I was also surprised with, as you've just said, with the unlockables. But the thing about the unlockables or the treasures is you get this board, and like every time you finish the level, it gives you like these exclamation points, and you tap on them, and it unveils a picture, pretty much like a street pass.
Right.
So you've got this picture going on, and then the tile that reveals a small picture to the right, left, top, or bottom of it, the square is actually like a light blue square, and if you tap on the light blue square, it'll tell you what you need to do to unlock piece.
Yeah, I like
Exactly.
that. It's not a question mark anymore. Basically, whenever you finish the level, it says, "Here's what you missed."
Yeah.
Kindly.
Yeah. Well, you know exactly what to do to unlock everything as long as you've unlocked one next to it.
Yes.
So it's not like you're completely in the dark. And on top of that, I'm sure you guys noticed, but occasionally you'll get these feathers, these white feathers.
White feather, right?
And there are parts of the board maybe that you just feel like, man, I will never be able to get this no matter how good I get at this game. You can get these feathers, which you don't get like a lot of them, so it doesn't make it really easy, but you can use one feather to just unlock one part of the board.
Exactly.
So if you just think, I'll never get this, you can use one of your feathers, surrender your feather, and actually unlock that part of the board. Which is great because there are some people out there, like some of these achievements, I guess we can call them on the board, are certain things that maybe certain gamers just will not ever be up to, or just be able to do. So using the feather system, pretty much anyone will eventually be able to unlock their board completely, which is awesome. They did it the right way.
Yeah, I really like this this whole. I mean, it's the way he designs games.
Well, I mean, look at this game.
Options is
it's just so much there. It makes you just keep want to come back and keep playing again and again and again. I was really surprised. I didn't think that was the amount of depth they were going to go for. I thought it was just going to be like an arcade shooter,
Sure.
But there's so much depth in it. I understand why they've taken so long to complete it and get it out on the store shelf.
Well, yeah, that's what I was going to say. Look at this game. I mean, this was supposedly, or not, this was one of the first games that sold us on the 3DS, right?
Well, yeah, I played this over a year ago.
Yes, it's our big new thing. Oh, check out Kid Icarus. I think it was the same day that they announced the 3DS, they showed Kid Icarus.
Well, Iwata Talks did like an interview with Sakurai like back in 2010.
Right.
So it's finally come out.
Well, remember,
and
Steve,
if you think about that as a shooter, it's crazy, right?
Mm.
I mean, but once you see how much content is in here, and once you see, like, as you were saying, Martin, like the grid itself, the Tetris-like or Bentro-like grid, along with the weapon fusion, there are so many options, so many things that you'll be able to do in there.
Yeah.
Like, I can't wait to just see exactly what comes of that.
Well, I don't know if you remember, Steve, when we went to that Nintendo event. Remember in Nagoya Dome with with Shane?
Right.
You played Nintendogs.
Nice.
You played Nintendogs and I played Kid Icarus, and I
remember you. Yeah.
So Martin won that one.
I think I won that one, but
I never even played it since.
He didn't get a chance to play it, but that was like well over a year and a half ago.
I envy you. I wish I did what you did. I remember lining up with Shane. That was a big mistake.
What, with Shane or just lining up?
No, just lining up with Shane because Shane wanted to see that and I didn't.
Well, he wanted to see Nintendogs?
Yeah.
Oh, God, what a girl.
I mean, I'll say that now that he's not here.
Say it as much as you want. I'd say it to his face.
Right. But just now that we're spilling the love about different aspects of it, I really like the. If you remember, in between levels, there's a nabe, or there's a pan, and then it's over this fire, and I think it's in English they call it Fiend's Cauldron.
Yes.
And basically, what it allows you to do is adjust in the Japanese they call honkido, which I thought was a really cool word. I don't know how it's translated in English, but it's like, how serious are you?
Yeah, I guess seriousness.
And it's related to hearts, and like honkido is like how serious you are, how in love are you, or how intense are you, and you have to you can crank it all the way up to 9.
9.9, right? Or is it just 9.0?
9.0, I think, is what it is.
Yeah,
or if you're like, if you got no soul and your idea of getting down to business playing Gris or Mobage, you can crank it all. You can down crank it to 0. But I thought it was really cool that you actually have to pay hearts if you want to crank it, you want to drop it down to 0, because it's like, okay, you're saying, okay, I can't finish the game even on like kind of easy.
Yeah, you have to
bring it down to 0, and I'm a gaming fake. Let's let all the enemies know that, but I have to pay for that. I'm sorry. And here's a fine. I thought that was really the privilege of being fake. You have to give extra hearts, and then also if you want to crank it up to 9 and show that you're serious, there's like this face on the front of the pan, and it's like this serene white face normally, but as you crank up the level, it changes to like this raging skull.
Yes.
And then there's like the flames that are below the pan are like practically engulfing the whole pot or the pan itself. And if you invest, when you crank it to 9, it costs more hearts, so that all these hearts fall into the pan. And these are the hearts that you've acquired by killing enemies. So it actually takes a while to build up these hearts. But if you crank it up to 9, you're putting all these hearts on the line. And if you die, it spills these hearts from the pan, and then you end up losing tons of these things, these hearts that you worked so hard to get. And these hearts are what you need to get better weapons and whatnot.
Right.
But if you crank it up to 9, your chances of getting better weapons and getting more hearts is greater. So, because you get penalized, the trick is to clear each level at the highest level you can manage. And I think it's actually auto-setting it. So depending on how well you play, it's saying this is what you should be playing. And there's like a recommended play. And mine right now, unfortunately, is like 4.5. But I notice it's gradually changing.
Yep.
And
this is amazing.
It's extremely intuitive. And I'm like, it's by far, it's the best like difficulty level adjustment screen I've ever seen in any game. Because it's like, just that picture is so awesome. It's like something I would expect out of Ni no Kuni, Martin, when we were talking about like that big book and like all the back history and everything like that. But yeah, and then I did try playing it on Chapter 9. I mean, not in Chapter 9. I tried playing the Honkido, the highest level at 9.0. And oh my god, it's hard. Yeah, on level 1, like just the amount of this the enemies that are shooting at you and the stuff that's coming at you quick, you basically can't shoot at all. Like we said earlier, you can move much more quickly if you're not shooting. You're basically just moving around the screen and just taking shots occasionally, but you have to stay away from them. But I couldn't get through the shooting, the rail, like it's like 5 minutes, right? The first part. I couldn't even get through that on 9. So then I died. The cauldron dropped me down to 8. I gladly accepted. And then I made it through the on-foot portion on 8. But then when I got to the boss, he completely smoked me. By then my hand was completely cramping. And then I tried, because I'm trying to evade like crazy because he's charging at you all constantly. So I died, lost more hearts, cranked it down to 7, and I barely beat him on 7. But I had 10,000 hearts when I started that. And I ended up with 8,000 hearts. Sure. So my point is that I was penalized for trying to play better than I really am. So you totally have to find the level that you can manage at. Otherwise, you're losing points, or you're losing hearts. But you might be getting better weapons, so there might even be a trade-off there.
Yeah, definitely.
It's extremely deep, that whole concept, and I think kudos to him for that. I was blown away.
This is something that I didn't expect from this type of game.
Totally did not expect this on the 3DS. I just did not. I don't mean to be. Yeah, that's not like it's like requires like graphical, like tech, like really high powerful tech. But I just wasn't expecting something so deep.
Well, like you were saying, Steve. I mean, you called it a difficulty system. I mean, you can go like even above and beyond that. This is like a risk and reward system.
It's the ultimate risk and reward system.
Exactly. I mean, because like you were saying, even if you end up losing hearts on a harder difficulty level, you get weapons. And another thing is, even if you don't like the weapon and you feel like you can never use it again, you can even sell the weapons for hearts.
Yes. Right. You can harvest it.
I mean, it just seems like the perfect risk and reward system. If you feel like you are okay at level 3 or 2.5 or something, you don't spend a lot of hearts, but you're not going to make a lot of hearts, Right. It balances out so well. And I was also blown away how it knows how you play and then recommends a difficulty level for you.
That blew me away.
That was amazing. So yeah, it was just like, oh, the game thinks I should play about here based on how I've played before. This is awesome.
And I'm always trying to play above what it's recommended.
Yes.
Pride, right? Game of pride.
But as you do that, you realize kind of like, oh, maybe the game was right.
The game knows me better than I know myself.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, it's true. But the point is I did finish 7, so you can't, because out of sheer desperation. Yes. You can finish at a higher level, but you really have to be on top of it.
Well, and if you die, you get a bit of a continued checkpoint. You're not starting over from the very beginning.
And it rewards you midway through the level. So it says you got this many hearts here, and it's like, whoo, and then you can relax. But the hearts you wagered in the pan are still on the line.
On the line, yep.
Yeah, the risk reward in this game is pretty phenomenal. I don't think I've ever seen anything as good as this in a handheld.
And I wish every game had a risk reward system like this. I'm talking console games, any game with gameplay, period. I mean, I like playing games on hard difficulty settings, but the reward is usually like, oh man, I'm great. I feel good about being able to do that. But with this game, there's an actual increased reward comeback to, a take home for playing on a harder difficulty, which is...
And the sheer beauty of it is that this extends to online play. Because I actually played online play quite a bit. And there's 2 different modes. And there's just like a common free-for-all deathmatch. And then there's also a light versus dark mode, which is actually pretty unique. I think regardless of what you play, it's max 3-on-3. But when you play light versus dark, the first thing you notice right when you're in the mode is there's these 2 bars at the bottom of the screen.
Yes. And
there's a white colored one with a white a white angel wing, and there's a black gauge with a black angel wing. And these actually bars represent the team's life gauge. So when the team's life gauge gets depleted, let's say the black team completely wipes out the white team's gauge, the last person who dies is resurrected as a powerful angel. And then you win the game by essentially killing the other team's angel. And about this whole risk-reward thing is that you can actually choose powerful weapons. But for example, if you have a really powerful weapon, the more powerful it is, the more your team life gauge decreases when you get killed.
Exactly.
Oh,
so,
nice.
I mean, this is like something a lot of online, like I was always big on online shooters to have a level playing field, but this is like an in-between, like, for example, like Halo was always online level playing field no matter what, whereas like Battlefield or like Modern Warfare had a lot of perks in there, so you eventually get where it's not a level playing field. And this is like, I think they found almost like the in-between perfect compromise, because it's like, here you can have this weapon, but remember you're going to get penalized if you die later, so think twice about it.
Well, yeah, it's great in 2 ways, what you've brought up. It lets you bring in your amazing weapons while it keeps it
that
balanced,
you earned,
right?
yeah.
Exactly. So you've earned these weapons, and you have to, you get to use them with a good balance. And on the other hand, it makes you think about your team as well, right? It's not just about how good you are necessarily, but you also have to feel about your role in the team because of the team life bar, which I think is great, that the whole balance, like you said, it lets you bring in things. So it's not like, oh, this is a completely 100% level playing field, but it feels like the balance that they've put in there lets you bring in the nice goodies that you've earned. But on the other hand, it makes you kind of, you feel worried, or you feel like you have to be careful when doing so.
Right.
So have you guys both played online? Kyle, have you played online?
Yes, I played very briefly. I wanted to check it out and see exactly what it was like. I've been invited by a bunch of people now to get into some games. There are some guys out there that I want to do teams with and get on and trying to destroy all of Japan essentially. But no, I just got on. Was it this morning? And checked and saw what the modes were, what it was like. Just because I hadn't really read up much on it, and I wanted to see what it was like. And pretty much I felt the exact same way that Steve was saying. Steve was actually talking to me last night and telling me about the weapon balance system. So after he told me about that, I wanted to check it out to make sure I saw what it was all about before we talked about it here. But I'm completely on board on that. I think that is great.
Cool. So you're on level 8, Steven?
Yes, I'm on Chapter 8.
Kyle, you are?
Same place, Chapter 8.
Oh, okay. So everyone's going on about level 5 because it totally changes.
Yeah, it's amazing.
You don't remember, Steve?
I remember it looking really beautiful.
Okay.
It reminded me of, actually, I don't know if you guys will even get the reference, but in The Matrix, I think it's in the last movie, when they're in the real world, and it's all dark and murky and horrible because of the robots and everything. But then they end up flying above the clouds, and all of a sudden they do that, and it's just like this beautiful, beautiful, like they can see the sun, and it just looks amazing. And then they end up plunging back down in. I felt exactly like that.
Yeah.
It's almost like you have the carpet pulled out from underneath you, and all of a sudden everything is like completely different than it was before. And then again, it kind of plunges you back into the world. It really is amazing.
What was the one with the canyon with all the bridges and the fallen pillars? Was that 5?
That's not 5, I don't think, right,
Okay.
Martin?
No, it's not.
Yeah,
Okay,
yeah, but
that was
one was
the
great
aerial
too.
one I really enjoyed.
Yep.
I thought that was good. With the 3D, I could really perceive what I needed to do.
Right, because in this one you're flying down a corridor, and then all of a sudden, right in front of you, it just goes flat, and then it turns.
Yes,
It turns around, and then the screen goes black, and then it comes back again, and you're in another part of the level, and again you're flying down, it's like you're inside of a spaceship, but it kind of looks like Star Fox.
Yeah, I would.
That one. Okay,
It's
I
the
now
enemy,
remember.
without giving anything really away, because it's told to you very soon in the game. But yeah, it's like a simulation created by the enemy.
Yeah,
and yeah, the parts where you're like flying at the wall and the camera. Obviously, you're not moving the camera on the flying segments. It's on rails. But yeah, you'll end up like flying, and you'll be like, "Holy crap! I'm going to run into a wall." And then you kind of stop and you flip around or you turn, and Paltina's talking to you about where you need to go. Like, it was awesome. The way the graphics looked were amazing. And I don't know if I've told you guys before. I'm an unfortunate soul. I can't use the 3D function on the 3DS. And at first I was kind of a complainer about it because I thought it was really bad. But I guess
just
it
eye
must
soreness
just be
or what?
me. Not eye soreness. When I turn it on, no matter what level I play it with, everything just seems really blurry. I can't focus on anything, and when I do try to focus on a point, I can't. I don't have peripheral vision. I can't really tell what's going on. I thought that was what it was like. Just like I thought it was this kind of blurry mess where you could, because I can see a bit of a pop out or a pop in the 3D, but
it's depth.
But yeah, exactly. I can tell that there's depth there, but it just. And it must be me, and so now I don't.
Can you get that corrected
divide it anymore. I don't say anything about it, but I always come out and say, look, I can't play it with 3D on.
Can you get that corrected? Because Steve got it correct, or something similar corrected, right?
Oh, yeah, I've been saving that one when we talk about shoot 'em ups next time. But yeah, you can correct that. I'll save that conversation. But yes, you can correct that. I corrected it with very expensive glasses, but
interesting.
I'll save that one.
I don't know.
Why are you going to save it for when?
Oh no, we were going to talk about some shoot 'em ups that I've been playing. I was going to mention that because that's when I got. Okay, should I talk about it? I don't know.
Yeah, you've already started. Just
yeah, all right. So when I moved to Yokohama, I went to an eye doctor just to get a refill of contacts, like I always do. And then I ran through the normal battery of tests, but then there's a real doctor at the end who gives you the final checkup. And he's like, I noticed that you have an eye that leans in. And I actually have known about it, and it's been pretty bad my whole life, but I've just sort of accepted it because I see double vision of everything, essentially. Okay. And I was like, what? He's like, we have a specialist who can come in and take a look at it and prescribe glasses and fix that. And I'm like, what? Fix that? Because up until now, no one has said they could fix it. And so, I've always had trouble with billiards or tennis, even though I play a lot. Wow. It's just I could see double of everything. I see two of everybody, essentially. And I've learned to deal with that my whole life. And then I went to this doctor, and he was only available once a month at a certain time. And I go in, and he's smiling there, and he says, I have what you had my whole life, but I found out at 1, and then when I was really young, and I got new glasses, and we're going to fix your eyes today. And I'm like, okay.
Wow.
He runs through the test, and then he starts, you wear that big chunky doctor's glasses.
Yeah.
He starts dropping those lenses in. He's like, all right, I want you to turn to the left, and for the first time, you're going to see like a normal human being. And I'm like, what? He's like, get ready. So I turn around and I open my eyes, and the first words that came out of my mouth were 3D. And he's like, is your double vision gone? I'm like, Doc, I can see in 3D. And he's like, well, that's great. But what about your double vision? And I'm like, yeah, that's better too.
Sure.
I was so shocked because for the first time I could perceive depth. And basically these glasses have prisms in them, which will pull your eyes together and align them so that what you're focusing on is really your eyes are trained on what you're focusing on. It's like you had a broken targeting system your whole life. And it's like this dude essentially gave me my owner's manual for my eyes. It's like, here you go, dude. This is your owner's manual that you've been living with throughout your whole life. Read this, and then you know how to use them. And I bought these $1,000 glasses, and Martin, we talked about it because I was freaking out for about the first month, how I could just see everybody in 3D and play games now without closing one eye. I used to close an eye when I play games.
Really?
And now I don't have to do it. And I've been playing shoot 'em ups like crazy. Like, I've not been talking about it, but I've been playing them like at the arcade. And so you should probably have that looked at.
Yeah, that sounds great. I will check that out. I will say
there is a guy with an owner's manual waiting for you. Perhaps.
Yeah, I've never had like issues with my eyes as far as like double vision or anything like that. But yeah, I wear glasses. Not usually when I game or anything.
You may want to ask about prisms.
Okay, I will look into that. I also am actually going in for LASIK pretty soon, so I am also wondering if that will do anything for my ability to.
I don't think so.
Okay.
So,
but yeah.
So Kid Icarus. Sorry to get back to it. Is you definitely think that everyone should be buying it if you own a 3DS? Is this a game you should own if you own a 3DS?
For me, I guess I'll go first. We talked about the downsides of the controls and everything like that. You can't let that get you down. I think that this is probably, it at least has potential. I haven't cleared it or anything like that. But between the multiplayer, the depth, the weapons, and everything that I've seen, I think that this has potential to be the best game on 3DS so far. I will say it.
Whoa.
Yes. I feel like this is probably going, at least for me, it feels like the more and more I play it, the more and more it builds onto itself and it gets me more and more addicted. And I just feel like, I was telling Steve, I just feel like I'm like, every time I play, I'm one step away from just going into that like complete addict mode where I don't want to do anything but play it. I just feel like I haven't quite hit it yet. Okay. But I'm going into my weekend starting now, essentially. So we'll see. Maybe by next time we talk here on the podcast, I'll have like 400 hours into it or something. Not that that's even possible, but.
So what 3D games 3DS games have you played this year? You've played Mario Kart, Super 3D Mario Land.
Yep, Mario Kart, Mario Land, Monster Hunter, and what else do I have in my library? Shinrei Camera, which isn't really a competitor for like Game of Ever on 3D, but it's interesting.
Potentially, it could have been great. Yeah.
Yeah. I played Overclocked this year, which was just a remake of a DS game. Yeah, so, I think that's about it for my list of DS games.
But there's some pretty.
Wait, did you say Super Mario Land or
yes,
Mario
you
Kart? You
both.
said that.
Yes,
okay.
Both. Played both. Loved Mario 3D Land. Mario Kart felt like more of the same to me. Not in a bad way. Mario Kart's Mario Kart. It's good fun, but I loved Mario Land. But I think that for me, Mario Land ended after I beat it, obviously, and I did everything there was to do in just about 20 hours. And
both you finished it twice, you mean?
Everything, and all the flagpoles, the final level, the whole thing. I think I clocked in at just over 20 hours for all of it, everything. But I feel like with Kid Icarus, if I put 20 hours into it, I'll still just be scratching the surface on a lot of it and add in the multiplayer. And I think you've got yourself...
Doesn't it become derivative after a while? I mean,
well,
isn't 20 hours... I mean, I realize you play like a lot of our RPGs, but
yeah, I'm a big fan
play
of
5 20-hour games versus one 150-hour game. Can that 50 ever add up to those experiences?
See, for me, I'm really like all about gameplay, and I've been thinking about this and talking about this with a lot of people recently. But for me, games, I still just like them based on the gameplay. The whole cinematic experience is great, but it ends, right? And that's kind of it. Whereas games with amazing gameplay, you can come back to and play over and over, and you can get a different experience each time. Or you can shoot for a high score, or you can like shoot for dominance. Wanting to be be the best.
Oh yeah, just brush up your skills,
and
right?
I know that you get that, Steve, with shooters, and so that's kind of what I'm coming from here.
Okay,
I just feel like this is a
you
game.
Want that? Yeah.
Yes, has no perceptive end. Depending on who you are, obviously there's an end to the game. But this is one game, and maybe the first for me on 3DS, where I just feel like
fair. That's
Monster
fair.
Hunter
That's
aside,
significant.
but yeah, I just feel like I could just keep going and probably enjoy it for a very long time.
So you have finished 3DS games then this year?
This year, well, Mario was the end of last year.
Oh yeah, Mario was last year, right?
Monster Hunter was also the end of last year, although I have played it a little bit this year, but it's essentially doesn't really have much of an end, I guess. Mario Kart, I didn't discernibly beat it, but I put a decent amount of time into it. This year, has anything come out for 3DS this year that I missed that I should have beat?
No, I don't think so.
So yeah, I'm going to go ahead and say easily probably best 3DS game this year based on that.
Right, okay. Steven?
I honestly think it can go into the ranks of yes. If you have a 3DS, you probably need to be buying this game.
Right.
Steve? I'll say the depth has shocked me.
Yes.
And so I've quickly put behind the controlling aspects that I don't like. It's gone. It's a done issue. But as far as like online play, I don't think I could get deeply in that. For me, the way I look at it is like, here's a bunch of interesting things I'd like to see in other shooters, rather than this is an online. This is something I want to play now that I really like. To me, it's just here's a bunch of great ideas, and I like how it's implemented and it's fresh. I'm going to play it a little bit.
Do you think that's because it's on a handheld?
The
or just because of the way it is?
Long-term play competitively, I don't think I would want to necessarily get good at that way.
Sure. And I'm not saying personally either that I'm going to go ahead and make this like my competitive game, but I do feel like there's definitely some longevity there.
Yeah. I don't think like the whole getting all the weapons and then trying to build up to play competitively, I don't think I'd want to do that. I'd want to get really good at it, try to beat it on level 9. 9.0, that would be like kind of the apex for me for this game.
Okay.
So if that's based on how hard it was, we'll just have to see when I finish the game how hard 9 is when I'm done with it. Like, 'cause we'll talk about Gravity Daze in a little bit, and of course when you level up and when you go back to some of the challenge missions in Gravity Daze, they're a lot easier. It's a lot easier to get gold now that you've maxed out your stats.
Yes.
So we'll see how interesting 9 is when I revisited it. That's kind of where I'm looking forward to.
Okay.
But it's a really good game. Maybe not 40 out of 40, but it's definitely up there. And maybe, as you say, best game of the year.
For the 3DS.
For 3DS, yes.
Sure.
And multiplayer much more significant than multiplayer for Binary Domain. That's how I conclude that one.
Sweet. Well, I'll just go ahead and say, well, so far, I probably enjoyed Mario a little better for actual gameplay because I don't particularly like the controls. But for depth, for collectibles, for something I didn't expect to be in a handheld game, such as like the weapon fusion and stuff like that. Definitely, probably the best game I've played on the 3DS.
Sweet.
So, yeah, I totally recommend it. 3
more things just related to that are just popping in my head. I did try AR mode.
Oh yes, I was going to say, did you try that?
Yeah, so I whipped out the cards and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 cards right here. I guess it's 6 out of 20 different types that I got.
Right, you can buy extras.
And there's up to like, what is it now?
I heard that the cards were numbered up to 400. Yeah.
What?
Right.
Wow.
So the way I think I have laid them out, and then they pop out of the cards as you would expect, and then when you turn the cards so that they're facing each other. So basically, it's not like when you see a playing card, it's upright. You turn them on their sides, so that they're facing each other, and then you put in AR mode, and you look at it, and they basically pop up out, and then they duel it out and fight, and it's over really fast, like 5-6 seconds.
Oh, okay.
And so basically what I did was I took all the cards and tried to figure out who's the strongest guy. So I had Pit. I had Black Pit. Because there's two. There's a good Pit and there's a bad Pit, right?
Yeah.
And then there's a bunch of others like Parodena, and then there's like there's some monster dudes. But Black Pit, he's my man. He smoked everybody
Nice.
repeatedly over and over again. So it was funny for about 2 minutes, and I don't think I'll play that ever again. That's not my cup of tea.
I heard the same thing and haven't tried it, but yeah, like at first I was like, oh man, this could be really cool with all the cards. And then I heard that there were like 400 of them. Like I had considered ordering a box of the snacks that they come with until I heard that there were so freaking many of them. And then I heard that it was not that great. And
it's just not fun because, I mean, there's like three things. There's like, there was Subayasa, how quick he can attack, then how strong his attack is, and then I think like his weapon power or something. But Black Pit, his attack was really quick. So even though he didn't have a lot of hit points, he was wailing on the guy quickly over and over again.
Gotcha.
And yeah, that's why he was beating everybody. And I was like, okay, I get that. All right, next. And so that was fun. That was one thing. And then another thing I noticed in the game, no one's talked about this in any of the game reviews I've seen, is you can play it in first person.
Which?
Kid Icarus.
The game itself?
Yeah, you can switch the camera to first person.
Oh, didn't see it.
That?
Didn't know it. No, didn't know.
Did you do it?
Nope.
and it is terrible. You
That's
could do that for Mario, and that was at least fun when you were flying in the glider and stuff like that. I really liked how that felt. But this was just like, I can't imagine how they had allocated any resources for that whatsoever. Someone please explain that one, if you know.
So what button do you press to get into?
I think it was, I can't remember, X, was it? There's like 3 buttons that are all just attacking.
Oh, yeah. When I was sorting through the controller options.
There's one button for the camera. I can't remember. Sorry, Martin, but you can do it.
Well, I'm in the game now, and I'm pressing the buttons and...
Try the D-pad, or... I don't have the instructions in front of me, but I saw it and tried it, and it was terrible.
Oh, okay. None of the face buttons are doing anything. They're just firing. Yeah, nothing. The D-pad is not changing.
Let me see my manual.
No, nothing's actually...
Yeah, you can do it.
Yeah, can't find it. I'm pressing all of the buttons.
Try the D-pad?
Yeah, try the D-pad up and down, left, right, nothing going on. Yep, combination of buttons not working. Press select? No, select.
Maybe it's in the options. I can't remember, but you can do it anyway.
Okay, it's cool. I can't see it.
Because you were saying like you were getting hit from behind, and it was just like, this is terrible. I talk about getting hit from behind.
I can't imagine it being good at all. Like a first-person camera. Yeah.
I could just see like maybe like Iwata said, they did it for Mario Kart. Maybe you guys should do that too. He probably laughed and went, yeah, sure, we'll do it.
Yeah, appreciate the option, I guess.
That's great advice, Iwata-san.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Right. I can see that exact conversation taking place.
Can't you? Yeah. He winks at his most senior junior guy. Sakurai does.
Yep.
Consider it done. Anyway.
Right. Gravity Daze. So on the 22nd, new DLC was released.
For 400 yen, for about $4.
Yeah.
Very reasonable amount.
Very
first of 3. It's called Spy Pack that just came out. There's I checked on it's Spy Pack, it's Maid Pack, Special Forces Pack.
Oh, yeah. So each of these, based on the name, it's not just the name itself.
Yeah, it's more like the costume.
Yeah, exactly. It's a costume, so you get a costume with the download content. So every week here, so the 22nd, the 29th, and then the first week, the first Thursday in April, it's the three pieces of download content. So you're looking at 400 yen a pop, but it's actually very well worth it because you get the costume, which, I mean, yeah, take it or leave it. It's a costume. But you also get a couple of missions, meaning...
You get two side missions. Well, for the first one, you get 2 side missions and 2 challenge missions.
So you have like a first half and a second half of this spy mission, which is another part of the reason this one is the spy pack. And then you also get, 2 challenge missions, which were pretty good, actually. One of them, anyway, was really good. One of them was all right. It was pretty easy. The other one, though, was a pretty long...
Oh, my God, that was
through the
hard.
fire area, right? And
Did you get a gold on that?
I did. It took me me 4 or 5 tries, but yeah, because in that one you really have to watch out about dying. None of the challenge missions in the game itself were like that, but this one you start with low health, not low gravity or anything else, but low health, and if you die, you have to restart.
And there's actually these like lava tunnels you have.
Oh yeah, lava everywhere, and enemies coming after you, and very limited health pickups too. It's not like it's super easy. And then you're shooting for the gold, so you're trying to go as fast as you can. So at first I was
gravity
trying to
sliding, right?
Yeah, lots of sliding. I was trying to shoot through the lava tunnel straight through, and just like, I'll just take the hits, and it didn't work that well. So I had to rethink that a little bit. And I think that was one of those ones where the first time like I played through it, I was like 1 second behind the gold medal. I didn't get it, and then after that, it took me a few times to get it down. And
you are a much better player than I am right now. Ouch.
But yeah, I enjoyed it. I enjoyed it a lot. I'm hoping that in the next 2 download packs, they'll have the other 2 dungeons, I guess you could call them, the levels. So there was the fire level, and then there were the other 2 levels like that in the game itself. If you played through the game, you'll know what I'm talking about. I hope that they do challenge missions in each of those too, because there weren't actually any challenge missions in the game itself for those areas. So, and that was the first one.
I've actually finished the 2 side. Did you finish the 2 side missions?
I haven't done that yet. No, I booted it up. I got all the downloading done, and I did everything. And I did the challenge missions. I got gold on both of those, and started the mission itself, the beginning part of the mission, and did a little bit there. But I stopped there, and I haven't picked it back up yet.
It's pretty funny when
but yeah.
When you open up the trophies,
yes,
and you take a look, you know how they have those icons on the left, like little pictures that go with the achievement. Well, she's wearing, the whole thing is she's got this Catwoman with like I don't know what to say. It's like a V cut exposing her.
That's exactly
mammary
what it is.
glands,
massive
basically.
Cleavage V cut.
Massive and what happens is if you unlock the achievements, the picture forms one giant like poster shot of her in this V cut.
Really, I didn't notice that.
It's
I got
awesome,
a bunch of
actually.
trophies, but yeah.
Go to trophies and look. And
all right, I'll take a look.
The funny thing is, I only got bronzes for those 2 challenge missions, but those are what opens up exposes her fun balls to everybody. So
gotcha.
There's really no point to get silver and gold, right?
Fun balls.
Shouldn't it be fun bags?
Fun bags.
She's a lady. She doesn't have balls.
For boobies.
Okay, there you go.
That's mammary boobies.
Mammary boobies.
And so there's really no incentive for all those idle gamers out there to get silvers and golds, because unless she's naked all the way down, I don't know. Maybe that's what it is. But the 2 side missions I played. I think it took about 2 hours to finish everything, complete, just get all the content done with the pack. So I thought I was really happy with the price. But the side missions were awesome. I think they were almost like some of the best side missions in the whole game.
Nice. Yeah, I enjoyed what I've done so far, and they're fleshed out. They have stories. It's not just like, oh, go pick this package up. All right, see ya.
This one's more like, though, it involves a bunch of other people. Both the missions involve a lot of people that you're with. And I'm just going to say one thing, because there's a race that you have to do with this gang of Yankee,
that's right
like
where
biker
I'm at
dudes.
now.
And it's really good. I was blown away. The first mission was mint, probably the most enjoyable mission in there. So
awesome. That's right where I'm at.
If you like the game, if you like the game, you have to get download pack 1, is what I'm saying.
Yeah, and if you like the game, why wouldn't you, right? I mean, yeah, I've been waiting for this. So.
And then also, having played this game, finishing it right before this came out. And
good timing.
I did finish Gravity Daze, by the way. It was really good. But and then playing a little bit of Kid Icarus and then playing a lot of it and then jumping back into this. I gotta say, I love Gravity Daze and love the Vita and love the dual analog sticks.
Yeah, that's something I wasn't going to bring up, but yeah,
I'm bringing it up.
There we go. It's out there.
It means more because I'm not a Sony fanboy by no means. But,
no, we know.
I'm just calling it out. It's nice to be home. Home is dual analog sticks for me right now. But
so, do you use the both analog sticks, or do you use the gyros to move?
I didn't use the gyros hardly at all.
Kyle?
I messed with the gyro a little bit, but I mostly use the right analog for the aiming of the shooting yourself and all that.
You can have both of them at the same time, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You can.
Yeah. I think I went with a mixture. I think I used the gyro to fine tune.
Yeah.
That's what I did. I think I moved the camera with the right and then fine tuned with the gyro.
Yeah, I think it's a nice feature to have. I never liked gyro controls before, but I felt really nice about it. And I was talking to some people who were like, dude, just get over it. Use the gyro. It's the best way to play the game. And I'm not going to dispute that, actually. I think it's very precise. It's more precise. And speed-wise, it's up to you how quickly you can move your Vita instead of having to deal with analog sensitivity.
Right.
But at the same time, you basically need a swivel chair to do it perfectly accurately with the gyro, right? Because you have to flip completely around sometimes.
Right.
So I think that was more it for me. But I like that it's there for fine tuning and even moving around. While I sent Kitten flying through the air using the right analog stick, and then I would fine tune it just a bit, tilting the gyro while she was sent flying.
Yeah,
and I found that was really nice. Yeah,
Right, I still have to finish this game, but now
you need to finish that.
Now I've got the time.
Do it.
I've got the 3 weeks, so yeah.
Or now that you're on summer vacation,
so
big time.
Did you get because everyone who's got a Vita, Japanese Vita, got 1,000 yen ticket, right? Did you use the 1,000 yen ticket?
I haven't done it yet.
Purchase
No,
it?
I gotta do that.
No,
because that will pay for my next pack and third pack.
Yeah. So Kyle, did you use your 1,000 yen?
I did. Well, I used 400 of it for this. I've got the rest still sitting in the account for next week.
Okay, good.
Yeah, so I'm going to buy my third pack with that.
Free. So have you?
So it takes 4 or 5 days, you were saying?
Yeah, you're going to want to make sure
I heard you talk about in the podcast last
Yeah, apply for it. I think that the deadline for applying for it is through the beginning of April. So make sure you at least go on the PSN and buy the ticket, quote unquote buy, or you download the ticket. And then after you do that, it takes a few days to get an email in your inbox. But I think they do it in waves because me and Martin actually got ours at exactly the same time. He sent me a text and was like, finally, I got my email. And mine had just dinged right before that. So they must do it in waves and send them out to people at the exact same time. So if you get lucky, it could come really quickly. Sweet. But it takes a few days. But yeah, 1,000 yen, that almost pays for all 3 packs. Just a couple hundred yen short there. So.
Because I was actually going to spend it on the Ridge Racer, but then I started thinking.
You started thinking.
Good
brain
work.
muscles.
Good work.
This is money. Where do I really want to spend this? And
treating it like it's hard-earned money.
Yeah, well, it is in a way.
You jump through some hoops.
Yeah, so I'm thinking, do I use this for Gravity Daze?
Little Pomeranian.
Well, I think Martin, if you finish Gravity Daze, if you go back and get into it and finish it. I don't know how you were, Steve, at the end. It lined up good with the download content for you, but
perfect.
For me, I finished it a while ago. I didn't want it to end. I wanted more to do, and even after I cleared the game, I went back in and messed around a lot, and just was looking for things to do. So the fact that you can now finish it and then have download content to do, that'll be right up your alley. I think that'll be great.
Nice. I'm looking forward to getting back into it, and I will.
I just wanted to say one more thing. You were talking last week about Gravity Daze and how long you can manipulate gravity for.
Yes.
It is 40. You can do it 45 seconds straight. I timed it when I was going through it, and then 1 second it takes to max your bar again, and then you can go off for 45 seconds.
Essentially, yeah, you can go forever. And I also heard that in one of the next download contents, they're increasing the max levels, so it should be able to go
beyond 11. Okay.
beyond whatever the max was when you cleared the game. Because I don't know if you noticed, but when you clear the game itself, some of them were at like level 8, some of them were at like level 9.
They cap them at 5 even for the gravity.
Some of them were 5. That's right. So I heard that they said that they're increasing levels on those. So to keep collecting the gems, because obviously with the challenge missions, even in the download content, you get gems, and you're like, what do I use these for? Because there's nothing anymore. But they're going to keep increasing the levels.
So Kyle, you platinumed Gravity Daze, right? By finishing it once?
Yeah, you can platinum it in your first playthrough no matter what. There's nothing that you can miss. I mean,
he's a Vita savant. No.
It's
hard.
What I mean by that is that even if you beat the game once and don't even come close to platinuming it, you don't need to start another save or anything. You can go around on that save and finish up any loose ends you have.
Right. You're just tying up loose ends, but you have to basically get a gold for every single challenge, which
you have to. Yes, not basically. You do.
Yeah, you do.
Yes.
And there's a bunch of other like little things you have to.
Yeah, there's
you have
the
to get,
one
like 40,000 precious gems. Around 30 or so.
The final one for me was like the Tabibito, the kind of lost wandering couple.
The love couple,
yeah. There's like a story essentially that's a side story, kind of hidden in the game, and you have to find these instances of these people and talk to them.
Yeah, they're way out in the middle of nowhere.
And they're not like, you would definitely not run into all of them or even most of them. I think it's been a little while now. I think there might have been 16 of them, and
There's 16.
I think I had 3 or 4 when I cleared the game, so I wasn't even close.
I was 8 when I finished.
Okay, so that was higher than me. The one thing I did like is when you go into an area, it tells you in the top right corner, like, there are like this many of them in this area. So you at least know where to look, like a general big area. You're not like anywhere in the entire game, like where should I look?
Basically, you just got to fly under the city.
Yeah, that's exactly
just
right.
Start looking around.
I mean,
you can fly down
that little side quest there just adds on to show you how much like top to bottom depth the game has. Not just like a big city, but from the top of the tallest building to the bottom of the.
It's insane.
There's like an underworld there. I mean, it's very fleshed out. So anyway, we've talked about that a little bit before, but yeah, it's amazing.
But this is Steven's first Vita game to completion, right?
You got that right.
Yeah. Nice.
Cool.
Woohoo!
Yeah,
nice.
my first one was Uncharted.
I have to get back to that.
Kyle, what was your first Vita?
First game that I beat was Lord of Apocalypse.
Oh, really?
Yeah, and followed shortly by Uncharted, yeah.
Wow. Yeah. That's all good. I've got a huge...
That's all good.
No, I've got a huge...
I get what you're trying to say.
No, I'm just thinking, like, I'm looking at my backlog and I'm like, kind of like, oh my God, really? I didn't realize I had so many games.
My backlog now is pretty epic, and Martin, you've just added to that yesterday or the day before by sending me a cheap copy of Sumioni, so...
Yeah, well, yeah, it was the same price as the US store, right?
Yeah. So I figure I'll go with the Japanese copy.
So I've still got Army Corps of Hell to finish.
Okay.
You should finish that. That's good.
I've got Monster Radar.
It's a level 20.
I don't think I can ever get to finish Monster Radar.
Yeah, you got to like be taking trips all over
the world. So I think that's out of the question. I've got Power Smash Tennis 4. I've got Minano Golf, Gravity Daze.
That's just handheld.
Yeah, this is just handheld. Gravity Daze, Sumioni, Katamari. I haven't finished Wipeout yet.
See, a lot of those games that you're listing, though, are games like with vague endings or with endings that are far out there, you know?
Yeah, and I picked up yesterday on, like, recommendation of you and a lot of people on Twitter because Ragnarok is getting an online patch, right?
Yeah, actually. Why don't we bring that up now? Ragnarok Odyssey for the Vita. They said a while ago that it was going to get patched, like an online version, and they finally announced that it's coming on Monday, so very very soon here.
26th.
It's going to be a free download for the patch. So it's adding the patch as well as some other cool things like being able to take a screenshot, screenshots which the game did not allow you to do right away. Mm-hmm. So they're adding that in. They're also adding some other things in there. But the biggest thing itself is that you can. Play online, so up to 4 people.
I'm surprised you bought that, Martin. I didn't think you would get in on that.
Well, the reason I got it is I haven't really gotten into any Monster Hunter. I've tried, I've dabbled, and I've wanted to, but I've never really had the time or to be honest, the patience. But now I'm on holiday for like 3 weeks. I know a bunch of other people.
Even so, I'm still surprised. Like so many games, I'm surprised you want to devote time to that one.
Well,
no disrespect. I mean, knowing you,
I picked it up for 3,000 yen.
Okay,
which is
cool.
Quite
branching
cheap.
Out. Nice.
So yeah, as we said before, Stephen, I wanted to find a game title and run with it. Remember, you were saying pick something that's I'm not familiar with, something that's out of my wheelhouse.
Awesome, good.
So
good stuff.
this is a step into changing my type of game I play. I think I said last week with Kyle I was thinking of doing the Persona series, and Kyle said that because it's based in schools and school kids that I might have.
You might find a connection there.
I might have more of a connection with it.
They're playing like a mini game of Uno, and then you scream.
Probably, and then blow my brains out.
Yes.
But yeah, I was thinking maybe I could do this with Ragnarok now that it's online, and hopefully there'll be like voice chat online as well, so everyone can talk to each other while playing.
Just take the piss while you play, yeah.
Yeah, so I mean, hopefully I can get into it. I mean, I've been watching videos. Kyle's been doing Ragnarok videos online on his YouTube channel, and it does look interesting. I mean, I've seen other people also do Ragnarok videos online as well, and they've been showing like the ad hoc stuff.
Right.
Yes.
But now it's going online, and that's what's piqued my interest. Okay, so now it's online. I don't need to be sitting.
You'll be
next
playing
to
Phantasy Star Online in 2013.
Well,
sure.
I probably will.
Oh, I'm so stoked, and I shouldn't be because it's so far off. But
that's why I'm happy.
Excited.
That's why I'm happy. I've got pocket Wi-Fi because I can do this wherever I am. It doesn't matter. I don't have to be at home, sitting at home anymore. I can be anywhere, sit in my car and do it.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
you're known to do, right?
Yeah, I'm known to do that, and that's my getaway, isn't it? It's like sitting in the car. You've got your Wi-Fi. You got your pocket Wi-Fi. You can play anybody. You don't have to be at home anymore. It's like truly online, truly portable. It's just it's crazy. So yeah, I've got a lot. My backlog's kind of crazy, and that's just for handheld. So I've still got obviously Kid Icarus to play. I don't know if you listened to last week, but I listened. I bought Azura's Wrath again.
Yeah,
so I've got that to go through as well. So these 3 weeks, hopefully, I can get some time in and finish some games.
Speaking of, you were talking about patches for a second. I just want to throw in the patch for Gravity Daze, they did not address the loading issue. So it's just that's out there.
Yeah, it's
still 30 seconds, and
long.
I still cannot stand it. So there you go.
You still cannot restart challenge missions in the middle.
No.
So you have to retire and restart. Yeah, that's all still there, as we brought up before.
Cool. Next, did you pick up Devil May Cry? Kyle?
I did not. Yeah, the high def version came out on Thursday. The HD version of 1, 2, and 3 came out for PS3 and 360.
Yeah, because you were wondering.
I did not.
Why?
But I almost picked it up today again. After work, I swung by Soft Map because where I work today, there's another Soft Map that I don't get out to very often. So I like to swing by there if I have time after work. So I went there, and I saw Devil May Cry again, and it was screaming at me again. It's only 4,000 yen because it's an HD re-release, so usually a little cheaper. 4,000 yen is still about $50 in the US, but here that's like bargain gaming, right?
Yes.
So. Yeah, I think I will, but every time I think about my backlog, too, and how I want to try and actually manage it a little bit, and the fact that I have Kid Icarus, Gravity Daze DLC, Ragnarok Online version, Ragnarok Online patch coming up, and these are games that I've already beaten, I just think, okay, if I buy it, I'll be kind of wasting my time now, and it might go down in price a little bit by the time I actually do end up picking it up, but I would love to play through Devil May Cry 1 and 3 again, and kind of forget about 2 because nobody cares about you, Devil May Cry 2. Sorry.
Oh, everyone cry. And actually,
yeah, the devil especially cries.
Okay. So you got Sumioni, but you haven't played it?
Haven't played it. So Sumioni came out in the US, as I'm sure a lot of you read. XC brought it out on Thursday for $19.99? Great price.
It was Tuesday, right?
Oh, was it? Okay, it was
US
Tuesday.
is Tuesday.
That's right. Yeah. And so I was planning on picking that up on the U.S. store, but it's download only, so I need to switch over back to my U.S. account. And I've been on my Japanese account again because of Gravity Daze DLC and Ragnarok and some other stuff. And I noticed recently that Gayo, one of the big gaming retailer / rental places here, had Sumioni for $19.99, 1,999 yen new, which is pretty close to $20, 20 US dollars. But my Gayo was sold out. But thanks to a kind soul here on the podcast, Martin, he noticed his Gayo was not sold out and picked a copy up and sent it down to me. Came very, very quickly. So, yeah, I have Sumioni now and got it on the cheap, so pretty happy about that.
Right, okay. We had a tweet from one of our listeners who was asking, when's this out in Australia? And Australia usually, they get the games for they're European, right? It's all connected.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
They haven't given a release date yet for the European release. So
no, I did hear that they said stay tuned though. I follow Xseed's Twitter, and they did tweet to somebody like stay tuned for details. So I'm going to assume that it is actually coming out. I mean, it's kind of money on the table, right? It's already in English.
But do Xseed release games in Europe? Because you remember like Catherine. Catherine wasn't released in Europe until like last month,
right?
Because they didn't have, I think it was Atlas or something. Don't have a branch for Europe. So maybe it might be similar to that, whereas you might have to wait for a publisher to pick it up and release it.
It could definitely be. I think that Xseed has worked with publishers before, but I don't think that they themselves have ever put their games out in Europe. But maybe that they would license their translation out to somebody in Europe because it's already in English, right? So they would allow someone else to use that and publish that in Europe. So, yeah, they did say stay tuned, so I'm assuming that maybe they're working with somebody else. Because, again, it's just crazy because these games that are already in English get caught up in, like, red tape, right?
Right.
Bureaucracy. They're in English. But thanks to region locking and stupid things like that, Europeans and Australians aren't allowed to play them without jumping through certain hoops themselves. It's ridiculous. If it's already in English, come on, and they want to spend their money on it, there should be nothing restricting them from doing so.
Well, maybe in Australia they've got that stupid law. They ban everything because it's like too violent.
Yeah, that's right.
But this is not so violent, so this is cartoon.
Yes.
This is cartoon violence. You shouldn't get banned for it anyway. So, yeah, that was a question from Anthony COB01. So, yeah, he just wanted to know.
Yeah, we're not quite sure, but hopefully pretty soon.
Cool. Okay, so, all right, let's move on. So, you obviously didn't buy Devil May Cry.
Right.
Was there anything else you were playing? Were you playing that the PSP RPG?
Yeah, I will just briefly mention it as I do like every podcast here. I'm into Sora no Kiseki second chapter, Trails in the Sky second chapter, and I'm pretty well in now. People might be asking why I've played this and not so much of Icarus or Gravity Daze DLC, but this is like my designated train game. I don't play it when I'm not being transported to and from work, but it's usually what I do play if I'm on a train, and some days my train commute is like an hour one way, so I get a couple hours in. But anyway, I'm well into this now, and it's just epic. I don't know what to say more about it. The music in it is like incredible, and Falcom Games period are just incredible, usually in the music department. Mm-hmm. And this one is really like stepped its game up, even from first chapter. The story is just getting awesome. So I feel bad kind of talking about it because most of our listeners probably really want this, at least the ones who are interested really want this, but there's still just no idea of when this will come out in English.
Right. I just have a question. Since I wasn't here, you were talking about the scenarios in those scenario books in the last podcast.
Yes.
It's like 350 pages for essentially all the dialogue text.
Yes.
Is written in there. Is that just for Sora no Kiseki, or is that other games in general?
No. Like the 350 pages was for Sora no Kiseki first.
No. I mean those scenario books you're talking about.
Yeah, they release scenario books
I've never heard of that before.
Sure. Not for like many games, but for games with a lot of text that are very story driven. They usually do it as a way to like just make a little bit of extra money because nostalgic gamers like to buy them and then read through them. Or like, for example, a cool thing you could do is like in these games there are tons of side quests. But if you're only in it for the story, you don't really want to do all the side quests. You just want to play through the game. But you could buy the scenario book and just read the dialogue for all the side quests.
Right.
Doing that if you wanted to.
So in other words, if you want to know what Big Bo, is saying,
yes,
you're not going to find a scenario quest for Big Bo in Binario Domain.
Yeah, no.
What are you wearing under that suit?
But
what does he really wear under that suit?
Yeah. But if you search scenario book, like on Amazon, JP, you'll get a lot more than just like sort of...
Just in katakana, scenario book.
Scenario book. Yep, it's exactly what it is, scenario book. And I think you might be surprised. Again, I know you don't play a lot of RPGs, but you might just be surprised at how many you'll see. And yeah, these are things that don't come out in English. I think most people in the West wouldn't be interested in just buying a book with all the text in there. But in Japan, it's not like everyone buys them at all, but I was happy to have it just because it's a nice aid for me. If I can't like read a certain kanji...
Do you use that to study Japanese quite a bit?
As a way, yeah. I mean, it's not like I sit there like as a hardcore study tool. For me, it's more just like if I don't know what something means, I can go back to it later. Like I said, I play on the train a lot, so I don't really have like a desk there with my G-Show handy and everything like ready to go, my dictionary and my translation tools.
Baby table.
Yeah, exactly. But like I'll mark certain things or I'll take screenshots on my PSP as I'm playing, and then later on I'll go look in the scenario book and look up the exact meaning. As I'm going through, like honestly, I'm at the point where I can understand like 98% of what's going on, but I'm sure Steve and Martin, you've both experienced that there are still times when you just you can't quite grasp exactly what's going on, either culturally or, just because of some kanji.
Right, especially if it's just flying by and you can't press the button and go to next.
That is a good thing in this one is there are no points where it's flying by that it's all stopped, it's all prompted, which is great. I can take my time, unlike, many games these days. But yeah, there are still times. Yeah. Kid Icarus or even Gravity Daze for a lot of that you couldn't.
Right. That's true. That's very true.
But yeah. Anyway, it's just nice, and the scenario books really help, so I can go back and look it up. And if I still don't get it at that point, even with like my G10, G-Show, my dictionary and everything, and the internet, I can just ask my wife and be like, I think there's a cultural reference here, or there's an idiom here that doesn't quite connect or isn't even in the dictionary. I've found some things that aren't in the dictionary, and she always just laughs and she's like, "Oh, that's like gamer talk or that's nerd speak or stuff like that." But she usually can help.
Lingo Lab, Martin, right?
Yeah, bring Lingo Lab back.
Yeah,
should do it. Okay, Kyle, didn't you pick up Gravity Daze soundtrack?
Yes, I did. That was kind of a surprise for me too, because it was scheduled to come out on was it Wednesday? I think it was scheduled to come out on Wednesday.
I think it was the 21st, right? Yeah, it was meant to be the 21st.
Yes, and I ordered it on Amazon forever ago when it was first announced and up for pre-order. And on Tuesday night, a package came from Amazon, and it was for my mother-in-law. She had ordered something, and so she opens it up, and in there is not just what she ordered, but the soundtrack was in there next to it. And she was like, "I didn't order this. What is this?" And she pulls it out, and I was like, whoa, and I think that's for me. So
good job it wasn't anything dodgy.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, what are they doing packaging things together? I didn't think they did that.
Yeah, we ordered 2 things that both shipped from Amazon, so I guess we have Prime, so all of our shipping's free anyway.
Yeah, I got Prime as well. It's well worth it.
And it's all under my wife's name because it's her account, so her mom will order things through her. Or when I order things, it's through her because she has the Japanese credit card. Yeah. So, yeah.
Okay, fair enough. All right, sweet. So how's the soundtrack, though?
Oh, it's awesome. It's really nice. The sound, I feel bad now in retrospect because last week, Martin, and you might have heard, Steve, we were talking about how they said that the Kid Icarus soundtrack would sound better than it did coming out of the 3DS. And I kind of took a jab at it. I was like, why should a soundtrack sound better than it does coming out of the game machine these days? But as I was listening to the Vita or to the soundtrack, I was almost like, man, did it sound this good in the game?
Oh, just the bit rate is more compressed.
It just sounds even better on the soundtrack. So,
nice.
Whatever it is.
How much was it?
It was about 3,000 yen. Know, soundtracks are expensive in Japan.
That's a bit tight.
It is. But yeah, it was just I don't buy a lot of soundtracks, so I felt like I could.
That's worth supporting, though.
Exactly.
Just even to support it, I respect that.
So, does the soundtrack have any like remixes on it, or is the soundtrack just the music from the game?
It's music from the game, which is obviously very, very good in its own, which is nice. So it's the music from the game, and then the discs themselves. Disc 1 is a picture of Kitten, and Disc 2 is a picture of Crow. And the discs themselves look awesome. They look really, really nice. The art on there is great, and the colors look really nice. They're each a solid color, a blue and a red. And then the pull-out book. CDs in Japan have traditionally, music CDs are super expensive. And instead of lowering the prices, they try to include, not goodies, but they try to make them really, really high quality.
Right.
It's booklet. It's got like an interview with various people in there. So it's pretty cool. A nice little read through that, just about the music and about the game. And the discs themselves look great. So the whole package is nice, but it is just a soundtrack for the game. So
cool. But is that limited edition at all, or is that just a?
I'm not sure, because I had a friend who wanted to buy it and he couldn't find it anywhere.
No, I couldn't find it either, because I've been looking for it as well, and I've been into.
I'm not going to say it's limited edition, but yeah, I don't know. It might not be like this.
I'd want to hit up Toyama.
Yeah.
On Twitter.
Yeah.
So,
I've looked for it in like video game stores that sell soundtracks and stuff, and I haven't been able to find it anywhere.
Interesting. Yeah, I don't know. I'm glad I got it anyway. I mostly got it, like Steve said. I wanted to just support it, and I think the music is great, and I think the IP is amazing. So whatever I can do without being insane, buying the soundtrack is a good idea. So,
would you ever think about doing some cosplay for Tokyo Game Show?
No, I would never.
I want to hang around on Saturday and Sunday when we go back. That's totally cool,
I might see if I can get someone to do some cosplay. I wonder if we'll see any sort of Kitten cosplay.
Oh, I'm pretty sure you will. There's already been people dressing up as Kitten.
Sure. I'll line up for the spy pack.
There you go. Yeah, the V cleavage.
Excellent. Alrighty. I think we've done that. Okay, let's get into world famous Zasshi Time, Stephen.
Zasshi Time.
This we haven't done this for how long?
Because I moved to Yokohama. It's a world city, right? So
yeah, you
world famous now.
It is world famous, isn't it? Yeah, I think you should get into Zasshi Time.
Yeah.
Bring it back.
It was a pretty thick magazine. It was actually a little more money than usual.
Actually, remember, I don't know if some of our listeners will remember, but Steven said that he went from printed Famitsu to digital iPad goodness, and what happened?
What happened is I missed the nostalgia. What it really comes down to is...
You missed the Natsukashi, didn't you, walking into the store and looking at it, and there's a girl with big boobs on it?
I can do that now without having that, because there's a great Korean couple who runs a little stand inside my station. So I just go through the gates, and right as I'm getting on my 20-minute train ride, there they are smiling. So nice. I just buy it, and I'm gone.
Too easy, right?
It's so good. Yeah. I don't have to go to some pretty clerk and smile, and it's a different chick every time. And yeah. Anyway, so here I am flapping through this big magazine. It's Kurohyo is on the front. Kurohyo 2 out for the PSP even, but we're not going to talk about that. We're going to talk about Tokyo Jungle.
Oh yeah.
You ready?
I played this almost 2 years. Last year, 2010 TGS.
Yeah, I have to pick this up because I feel like it's getting a lot of talk right now. People, a lot of chatting about it online, and
right.
Just need to throw this one out there because we haven't talked about games on the horizon for a long time, I think, on the show.
Right.
So here's the skinny. I think this is great. They write up this. This first, I'm going to talk most about survival points. This is this whole issue of survival points. Before that, they've got a little blurb here. I quickly translated it into English. It says, "Band together against cows, up teen times bigger than you with your Pomeranian posse. Madness, you say? It's just another day in Tokyo jungle. Besides, cow meat tastes good.
Wow. That's amazing.
I thought that was epic when I read it. I don't know who wrote it, but I loved it.
That's great. That is really great.
Because cow meat tastes good.
I'm not going to argue with that one.
Yeah.
Right. So, but yeah, we saw in the original demo back at Tokyo Game Show, we're little Pomeranians, right?
Right.
But what I'm learning, because I haven't really taken a good hard look at this. They've showed it a few times in Famitsu over the past couple months, but I've taken a good look at it now. And if you remember,
and you're still saying WTF, right?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Even more so. This is beautiful. So for some reason, like everybody has vanished from existence in Tokyo. We got that right. You have that? You understand that, Kyle? Are you familiar with the game a little bit?
Yeah. So it's essentially like the I Am Legend thing, right? Except
I Am Legend, except Will
animals.
It's a Pomeranian, right?
Okay. I like that already. That sounds amazing.
And then what I was kind of curious is just how this game was going to all come together, because we saw it played, Martin played it, and you're essentially just a little Pomeranian dog running around, ravaging and biting and killing things.
Rabbits.
In a horrific
The
way.
first thing you come across and kill is a rabbit. It's great. You hide in a bush,
rabbit.
and it's got its back to you, and you hide in a bush, and you're just waiting for it to, like start walking away from the bush, and you've got to be really quiet and what is it? The dog gets down on like all fours, and it kind of scoots really slowly behind the rabbit, as it's not so it doesn't scare the rabbit, so the rabbit then runs away. So you get up to the rabbit, and then I think you press two buttons at the same time to attack, and you basically, the Pomeranian jumps up and grabs the rabbit around the neck with its teeth, and then you got to hammer on the buttons to kill it. It's great.
Wow.
It's great. And yeah, what I've learned in looking through the pictures here is it's not limited to little Pomeranians. No, that's the cool thing. There are a lot of animals that you're going to be able to use in this game.
Oh, right.
But,
okay. So you're not playing Paris
it's all
Hilton's
tied
doll.
to these survival points.
Okay.
And the survival point, well, basically, it's just a numerical representation of how well you perform to stay alive. And they've got all these different criteria that you have right here. I think I listed them up in the show notes, but you have like how many years you've survived. You have how many calories you consumed, your ranking.
Wow.
How many territories you've conquered, and then passing the genes on to future generations.
Excellent. So there's breeding in this.
So there's breeding it. But just to go back to the first one, staying alive. So they have basically your first goal is to just survive the year, and you survive the year, you get 390 points, and basically every year you gain more points. So that's one critical thing, is to keep your little Pomeranian bastage as live as long as possible. And then, apparently they all have the metabolism of a hummingbird, because you have to feed these little bastards. So calories is total combined calories. Caloric intake is a huge thing. So basically it's saying your meter is always dropping down to hunger. It's like they have tapeworms. I don't know what. But you're always hungry, so you always have to try to eat to stay alive. And apparently if you are a herbivore, you're not a carnivore, you're a herbivore, you have to eat grass and mushrooms. And that to me is another major WTF, because I'm trying to figure out, like, if you're some giraffe running around with like foaming from the mouth trying to eat grass and mushrooms, it's like going to be Super Mario Brothers. He's going to be attacking mushrooms. Or more, you don't even attack mushrooms in Super Mario Bros. So I don't know how they're going to make that into a game. But to me, that's really awesome.
That sounds
anything
really
I cannot
cool.
explain in
Yes.
my gamer head, I'm very interested in.
Now, is this in the Famitsu? Does it say this is PSN or on disc? Because originally this was a PSN game.
It just says PlayStation Network Taiyo, so yeah, it sounds like it's just going to be PSN.
Okay, good. Okay.
Right. And then they are going to have online leaderboards. So there's going to be online ranking, but you can actually what is this here? Players, rookie, veteran, and boss ranks.
All right.
So basically, yeah, if you can consume a certain amount of calories, if you are just like one big feasting dude, you can assume boss level. Okay, that's not very interesting. But you have to conquer these territories. And how would you conquer a territory if you're a little Pomeranian?
Kill everything.
Kill everything, but then
and then piss on the lamppost.
Mark your territory.
You want to mark? Yeah, that's what you got.
Lift the leg.
There you go.
Gotta lift the leg. It's toilet time. And that's what you have to do. You have to claim these territories, because claiming these territories is key to which is the last one, which is passing the genes on. And this is Seidai Kodai. So this is, but of course you have to stay alive as long as possible. And then you occupy the territories, and then you do what dogs do. You get the booty juice going, and you breed.
Excellent.
And then by
this game sounds awesome. Eating, pissing, and getting it on.
Yeah, your son. You send your son off into the wild and killing a cat and killing cows because they taste good.
Day one.
Day one.
Right, day one. And all of this, if you do this all well, you'll be able to unlock other animals. So there is, of course, my son. And creating your son, breeding your son, and having him do what Big Papa did. But you can also unlock these animals, so it's all tied to these survival points. And those are the 5 criteria to get these survival points up as high as possible. So you can't just unlock an animal. You have to have these survival points as well. So if you do all that stuff well, you breed, you get your son, then of course you can unlock not just a Pomeranian, but you can get, I'm seeing pictures of like ostriches and sheep, and I guess the sky is the limit.
How'd you kill anything if you're
it's open for business.
How'd you kill anything if you're an ostrich?
I cannot wait. I see an elephant here. And then you can also buy costumes. So that to me is epic. If you can give an elephant a costume. Now there's no picture of it here, but if you're going to say you can buy costumes and then right below it is a picture of an elephant, I'm going to assume you can dress this guy up.
How do they get dressed? It's not like they've got humans to help them, is it?
Maybe that's where they're all hidden in like dressing rooms. I don't know, but I love it.
Yep. Day one.
Awesome.
This is day one for me. This is going to be a fine hunt. Oh. So my passion is ignited again. I don't know.
Sweet. Is it so, Kyle? Obviously, you haven't played this. Is this the first time you've heard about it?
I have seen a lot of people, including like people who work for Sony or game developers, tweeting about this constantly recently, and I honestly had no idea what it was until I looked at our show notes for this show and did a little bit of research on it and talked to you guys just a little bit about it. But it sounds amazing. I think it sounds great.
I love that you can breed and son.
Yeah.
My boy.
That really sounds awesome.
Sweet. All right, let's move on. Hino, level 5. What's he doing, Steven?
Hino.
What's he doing?
Hino is breeding in a way. He's reproducing, but it's a bit of a regression in a way. He's actually announced that they're going to be developing games for the Gree platform.
Okay, next, let's move on.
But no, I think it's
Inazuma 11, please.
What's that?
Level 4. They've gone back down.
Yeah, they're down to level 4. Great. I love that. Because he was in the meeting, they had an interview, and this is right in the beginning of Famitsu. So this is like just big money right here. Yeah. With the president of Mobage. And, with the president of Gree, sorry. And they had a sit-down interview. But what impressed me was it wasn't what Tanaka Yoshikazu, he's the president of Gree, was that Hino was saying he really wants to make games for Gree. That's the impression that he wanted to give. He says, I'm not being dragged into this unwillingly. This isn't like the invisible hand of the market, and it's just like so delicious we want to do. He's like, I truly want to make games for Gree, and I think when you see our games come out for it, that desire is going to be reflected well in you look at the quality of what we're going to put out. So, because to me, it's just one big regression rather than a progression. But if he's saying he's going to put out quality, I want to take a look at it. I want to see what potentially could be like the best of the best for this.
I deleted the Gree hub off my iPad and my iPhone.
Okay.
Like 2 days ago. And I feel so liberated for doing so.
Oh, really? Well, I like Gree in pockets. Like the last game I talked about, the money game, that was Gree.
Yeah.
Was that Gree?
Yeah, that was Gree.
But you didn't need to go through Gree to buy it.
You didn't need to go through Gree. No, it was free.
Yeah, well, that was just through the iTunes, and you don't need Gree on the phone to play it.
No, you don't.
No.
So is that like a different distribution? I don't know how that works.
I don't know, but it's not.
It's definitely not the Gree platform. It's like something on the side to just probably hook people in. I don't know.
Oh, okay, fair enough. Because as far as I'm aware, Gree is just like pressing X all the time, right?
Right. Yeah, you're just pressing next. So
next.
What surprised me was that he says they're putting out their Kanban Shidis, which the Kanban is like their top marquee series. So that's obviously Ni no Kuni and then Inazuma. And he's got this little game out for Ni no Kuni called Ni no Kuni Monsters. Now, I don't know how you felt about it, but Martin and I really liked Ni no Kuni for the PlayStation 3.
I haven't played it, to be honest. I wanted to look into it and still want to. I know how the entire country of Japan basically felt about it, because not only is the game itself in the bargain bin, but the gold PS3, or I guess it's not really gold, it's more like a yellow creamish color, but it itself was in the bargain bin last time I went to Softmax.
The console, you mean, right?
Yeah, the console with the game packed in. Yeah, so when the console itself even bombs that bad that they can't get it off their shelves, it's pretty bad.
That's
but people who actually played it seem to enjoy it. I just heard overall that it got really boring.
Yeah, I really enjoyed the story, but I haven't finished it yet, so that must be telling you something. But it's a 50-hour game. It's a 50-hour
game. Sure. No, it is.
Trouble with that in and of itself.
The first 15 hours is basically the 3DS game on the PS3.
Oh, okay.
So if you play the DS game and then you play the PS3 game, you're like, I've done all this before.
But it's a story fleshed out a lot more.
Yeah.
As well. It definitely, because when you went to the 30-minute mark in DS, you're at the hour mark for the PlayStation 3. So there's more content there. But yeah, you're right. Basically, the story arc is the same.
Yeah.
But so I'm kind of interested to see that they're not just like throwing out like just blasé stuff. They're taking their best title, their best games of their series, and they're putting those forward for Gree.
Interesting.
So if he says it's going to be quality, I'm gonna hold him to those high expectations, and it's coming out in April, so that's pretty soon.
Yeah, so, I don't think I'll be downloading Gree though. I don't know. I don't play games on my phone. That's why I carry around a man bag with a PS Vita in it and a 3DS. I don't want to play games on my phone. My phone.
Really, I love playing games on my phone as well. So
no, I just don't dig it. Don't dig the games. They're a distraction more than anything else to me.
What have you played in the last few months? Have you played anything? Because there's a lot of stuff coming out.
Groove Coaster I played. Don't get me wrong, it's a good game, but it's still, to me, is a distraction. Beat Hazard.
What do you mean? What do you mean when you, just so I'm clear, what do you mean by distraction?
So I play it for a minute and then switch it off again. It's like I'm in a queue. I'm waiting for. I'm in a queue. I'm waiting for some old lady to move so I can get money out of the ATM. I'm going to be here for about a minute. Let's play quick.
Really?
Yeah.
Sounds like you're kind of generally waving the arm on that one, but
no, I'm doing it because I'd much rather play a game on a handheld, a game.
Well, I appreciate that. That I get. But I mean, when you say like those types of games you play while waiting in line, I would believe that for like the Mobage types where it's just RPG pressing next. But there's a lot of games out there that you could devote serious time into and play and enjoy.
You think so?
Aren't like that. Oh yeah, definitely.
I don't know. I'm not.
I mean, I'm the type who've played all the mainstream big ones, and some of them it's just a very simple single game mechanic, but a lot of them are quite fun. I don't know. I guess
Kyle?
it's all different counting tastes. Well, Kyle?
Yes.
What's your take on it?
I played a lot of them when they started getting really big, and I kind of hate them. I'm kind of with Martin on that. I don't really know how to kind of explain it, but I feel like a lot of them have ended up being rip-offs of each other, and it's not that I'm playing the rip-offs. I just feel like I genuinely just can't find myself enjoying them that well. But obviously they have taken people by storm. I've played, like I said, I played a lot of the big ones. The one that really got me, like for like an entire weekend of like nonstop play, was a Game Developer Story, which like really had me for a while. And I've also enjoyed Caves games that they've ported to iOS. I think they did like an awesome job with that. But man, there have been some that people have been like, you got to play this, and I'll either play it and be bored to death or just not like it. And I just hate how ticky-tacky a lot of them feel with add-ons. It's like, oh, you didn't do that great. Why don't you spend 100 yen and get this little power-up? It'll make you a lot better. And the fact that
that's an option. A lot of those games, you don't require you to do that.
No. I don't think most of them
like
do.
The best player for Groove Coaster does not pay.
Sure.
There you have it.
But it bothers me, to be honest with you.
Well, yeah. I mean, that's the whole business model.
Yes, and it's working, obviously. Yeah. I mean, look at it. Yeah, but it bugs me. So it's not that, like, if you told me, like, a game on the phone was amazing, like on iOS or on whatever, GRI or Mobile Game. If you told me it was, like, amazing and I had to play it, I would try it. I would play it, but there's just something.
They're so cheap, and so, like, for me, the bang for the buck compared to, like, a $50,
okay,
which I may end up not enjoying. I could get essentially 25 games that I'd play for a little while.
Yeah.
Of those 25, there's probably going to be 5 or 6 because I'm very careful how I choose games that really impacted.
Honestly, if you gave me unlimited money right now, I'm not sure that I could get on my phone and actually buy 25 games, period.
Wow.
I'm pretty much with Kyle on this one.
That's fine. I quite
this might speak to some naivety or some might get some backlash on this, but honestly,
my secret opinion is that that's true. I mean, that's cool.
The form factor as well, it puts me off. I don't want to.
Yes. Oh, and what? Nobody's said yet, I don't think.
No buttons. Yeah.
Buttons. That's the biggest thing.
Finding games that don't, like when I played Tiny Wings.
Okay. Tiny Wings is great. I will
really
give
hard.
Tiny
I completed
Wings,
that all the way to the end, and that to me was just a pure joy, and that was a very cheap game that I played for a while.
99 cents. I think I played it when I was in the States, but Tiny Wings was great. But then the one touch button, not even like directional or anything, just the one touch kind of button games hit a huge boom after Tiny Wings, right? Tiny Wings was great because it was so simple. There was no ticky-tacky BS add-on fees about anything. There were cool achievements, and I thought Tiny Wings was great. But it's just like these games on the phone or on iOS or on GRI Mobile Game, they don't have a big development cycle. So maybe the imitators are coming out so quickly that it's kind of like ruining it for me. Like it's so flooded so quickly. I just
think there's like for example, when I saw Darius Burst in the arcade, that was that 4-seater it's a 4-seater 2D side scroller game where it's like this huge screen and 4 people sit down and play it. And I really enjoyed that. And they even had like a headphone jack. You can plug your headphones in and play it right in the arcade. And so you can just really focus in on the game you're playing and don't hear the cacophony of music and stuff like that. And right after I finished that, I go, oh man, I really like this. Oh, this is Taito. I really like Taito. And then Daisuke Ishida, the guy who developed Space Invaders Extreme, and then help me out here. Groove Coaster. Okay. Thank you. Yeah. So then they found out that they had Darius Burst for the iPhone, and then while it was only like $6.99 and it was too expensive and I didn't like it, and because it was a shooter and your thumb was in the way, it still to me is nice because you can right there in the arcade. They had it. I just pressed the button. It took me right to the site. I downloaded it instantly, and it was right there. And I was playing it right away. And it was just, it's very small, it's very quick, and it's not like you have to sit there for 45 minutes and download a game or something like that.
Sure.
I don't know, it's just so light, and it's more than a light snack, yet it's very accessible. And everybody around me who normally would never talk about video games is talking about it. Like, oh, did you try this game? Did you try that game?
Well, that's a casual gamer, right?
Phenomenon.
Yeah.
There you go. That's casuals.
Yeah,
but it's nice to see people
so
who are now like getting like rousing from their ancient slumber and going, oh, maybe I should be playing video games. I think it's more than just like pressing next in a line. I think people are realizing they enjoy games, and they haven't played since they played Pac-Man like a long time ago or something like that. And I think it's a regression, but I think it's a last-ditch effort to scoop up people who should be playing games. And some of it is still interesting for me.
Sure.
But
Okay.
Anyway, that's enough of that.
No, it's a good discussion to have because it's relevant, and that's what's going on at the moment. And people are looking at other avenues to take their properties and stuff.
At work, everybody is when you go to lunch, and then after lunch is like a coffee shop, and people talk about games you wouldn't expect just looking at their bust. Like, this person does not look like they'd play.
Sure.
But now more people like that are. And that's kind of a surprise anyway in Japan.
Whose bust are you looking at?
Bust? Bust is in like face and
I
torso.
know. I'm joking.
Right.
Sorry, I had to take it to the gutter.
As we often do.
As we often do.
Why
Not? Why not? Yeah, okay, cool. Next.
Games that are coming out.
Games that are coming out.
Next week.
There's a decent flow of games next week, isn't there? Next Thursday.
Next 29th, right?
Yeah. What do we got?
Kingdom Hearts 3D.
Kingdom Hearts 3D.
That's going to be number
Drop
one.
Distance.
Yes. Dream
Disney
Drop
and
Distance.
Square Enix are developing that one, and Tron is in there.
Hoo-ha.
So my question to you is, why not?
Well, I don't particularly like Disney.
I've got an answer for you. It's Kingdom Hearts.
Oh, okay, fair enough.
No,
Well, that's the question.
I don't want to be negative on this one because a lot of people out there are looking forward to this one.
It looks like there's like so many things there in that like Super Sunday, and it's like, where is Kingdom Hearts in all of that?
Uh-huh.
I don't know. I can't get past the Disney.
I'm looking at all the pictures in Famitsu, and it doesn't look like a typical Kingdom Hearts game. And what it got, like, as we talked earlier, the second highest rating for a Kingdom Hearts game ever.
Yeah, 2 10s and 2 9s from Famitsu.
Is it because it's not like Kingdom Hearts, or
No, I think it is supposed to be very similar to Kingdom Hearts. It's been done a little bit more, I don't want to say cartoony because Kingdom Hearts is historically somewhat cartoony, but they made it colorful in a certain way that just speaks to the audience of maybe the 3DS or a lot of, I don't want to say kids because it's, in a way, sure, in a way it's Disney, and in a way it's kind of the way that Square Enix has gone with the art direction in certain titles. I think that it will have a very nice appeal. I think this one will do quite well.
Yeah, it's definitely going to do well. There's no doubt about it.
But are you being swayed by the score at any bit? Are you feeling like you want to bite on this one?
Me?
No.
Not a chance. No, I beat the first Kingdom Hearts in like 4 days when it first came out. I played it pretty hard. And I thought it was really, really cool. I'm not like the biggest Disney fan ever, but for me it's nostalgia. When I was a kid, I was really into Disney. But by the end, the story, even in the first one, got so freaking ridiculously convoluted, and it was just like, what the hell?
Welcome to Japan.
Yeah, and then the spin-offs came out, and I played a couple of those. I played Chain of Memories on the Game Boy Advance, I think. And yeah, some other spin-offs, and then Kingdom Hearts 2 came out, and I played it for like 2 hours, and I put it down, and I never touched it again. And I was thinking about this the other day. If I could make a list of like game series you once cared about but just can't find yourself caring no matter what anymore, I think Kingdom Hearts for me would be number one.
Right.
I just don't care. And I think for me it's the story. I think anyone who really is into Disney or even like Tron, like you were saying, Man, you
Well, see, I've avoided
this
this series forever, and then I'm looking at it right now and going, maybe this is watered down to where I could consume it.
I don't know if I'd say watered down, but it could definitely be consumable for you. But man, the story is so ridiculous.
It looks really discombobulated.
It is, and to me, it just doesn't make sense at all. I don't know if it makes sense to many people out there because apparently this game is supposed to tie a lot of things together. So if you played this as your first Kingdom Hearts, you might be very lost. Apparently we've had all of the ends out there up until now, and this will tie it all together. And apparently it has like a 20-minute ending, which does that. They said the longest cutscene in a Kingdom Hearts game to date. And there was one in Kingdom Hearts 2 that was already 15 minutes long. So apparently we're looking at a massive cutscene coming up at the end of this one.
Sweet.
I'm going to take your word for that and just let that one pass in the night.
And I'm not saying that our listeners should avoid this. I know that a lot of people are excited for this. And if you like Kingdom Hearts, buy this. This is going to be great. It looks like Kingdom Hearts, and it's on a handheld, which is awesome because you can play it anywhere. And it still looks like it maintains the full quality of the console Kingdom Hearts games. So if this is your thing, get it. For me, the story is just such a turnoff that I just cannot find myself interested at all.
Right.
Okay. How about Pro Yaku Spirits 2012? This is another one that got platinum. It platinumed out with 2 10s, a 9 and 8. This is the baseball game, Pro Spirits.
I was surprised.
Pro Baseball Spirits 2012. Yeah.
And
it got the highest score for the Vita.
Yeah, correct me if I'm wrong. It got a higher score on the Vita than it did on the PS3.
It did. Yeah. And it got 2 10s, a 9 and an 8 on the Vita, and it got slightly lower for the PSP, 3 9s and an 8.
Okay.
Is this game a game changer game where you can play it on the PS3, then save it, and then carry on playing on the Vita?
That's a good question.
Because the Road to the Show does that.
Yes.
MLB The Road to the Show does that, and that's obviously from the West. It's a game developed in America. So, are the Japanese are they on target or are they off base?
I don't know, to be honest with you. I'm looking at the website right now, and nothing pops up immediately that says you can do it.
So you can't.
So probably not.
I would say no. Yeah.
That's a misstep.
Yeah.
That's a huge
It's only
misstep.
$10 less for the Vita. It's 79. The MSRP is 7,900 yen, and it's 6,009. Wow, that's expensive.
And here's the ridiculous thing about this. I mean, Konami has gone so far downhill, but the download version of this on the Vita is going to be $64.80. The retail
it's only
version of this,
500 yen less?
Yes,
That's
and the retail version of this will definitely be had day one for less than that. I guarantee it.
Yeah, if you go to Amazon, it'll probably be cheaper on Amazon.
Oh, much cheaper. I mean, period. You're going to get more than 500 yen off the MSRP.
I wonder they're hiding their online sales. I mean, their digital sales.
Yeah, this, man. I mean, but that new price is still ridiculous. To be honest, this is one that I had no hype for at all. I didn't even realize it was coming out much at all. I saw some reservation tickets for it. And when I opened Famitsu the other day, it was like Vita 1010 98. I was like, wait, what? A good Vita game came out? And then this is a series
the visuals
that comes
look
out
really good.
Yeah. This is a game that comes out, a series that comes out every year in Japan. So it's been around. But yeah, I was just surprised. But who knows?
I know people from the States who import this. They can't read Japanese. They got no idea what's going on. The menus, they get together online in forums and they work out the menus together of what's going on. But the actual game itself, they said it's bar none probably the best baseball game they've played. And this year it looks like they've stepped it up again.
Uh-huh.
But as I said, it doesn't have the play on your PS3, carry on the Vita, play on the Vita, and then carry on the PS3 when you get home.
Right.
Doesn't have that, so
it looks like it does not.
People who are giving this 10s are saying it doesn't graphically. It's not inferior to the PS3. So
okay,
sounds like if you're going to get it, Vita's the way to go. Probably it's because it's a lower price as well as figured into that.
Why not put that functionality in it when it's obvious that you can do it? Because the other title from the West does it. Why are they not?
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see what are these pound for pound. How are they different?
Can I stop you for a second, Martin?
Yeah.
Say one word here.
Go on.
Konami.
Ah, yeah.
When was the last time Konami did anything good or right or, I mean, Konami. I don't know that I need to say much more. Konami.
Right. Okay.
This game looks awesome, though. Actually, I'm looking at it right now. The graphics on it look amazing.
Yeah, the animation is.
I'm about 500 meters from the baseball stadium, so
there you go.
Good to get into that right before the spring season starts.
To be honest, when I heard like Pro Yaku Spirits, I imagined like an anime baseball game. You know, I don't know why, but that was like my first thought was like these SD super deformed characters.
No, it's
cartoony
like the graphics. Ones. Right.
No, this is quite good.
Street
like
sports
realistic.
Baseball.
Yeah, exactly. This is quite good, realistic looking baseball. Yeah. So on that note, cool. I'm kind of surprised I didn't know about this one earlier, but if it's a good game, more power to it.
Lower price. Yeah.
Yes.
4,000 yen. I would jump on this, I think.
Yeah. Yeah, I might too. I'm actually quite like baseball, so.
So if that's a catch, how about let's try bass fishing on next?
Now, is that the Vita version that's coming out finally?
Yes.
Because I believe this has been delayed at least once, maybe twice.
This was a launch title for Vita.
Yeah, I thought so.
This is a bass fishing game. No, thank you.
Do either of you know anything about it?
It's an action fishing game. It's what it says. That's the description it says on the website.
Is this the one that's like open world bass fishing, though?
Open world.
Yeah, yes.
Open underworld?
Now, this is the one where, wow, the download version of this is only $29.40.
So you're buying it?
No. But there was one on Wii that was like open world bass fishing. This is the one that got made fun of because the cover has the anime girl with knee-high stockings, but then she has a Band-Aid on over the stocking.
Over the stocking, yeah.
Which kills me. But yeah, I guess if you like fishing, I don't know. Yeah, sure.
Okay, Silent Hill HD is out.
I heard it's horrible.
Is it? Well, it's
the worst HD conversion out yet.
Well, there you go. Konami, well done.
Yeah, right, yeah.
Okay, Samurai and Dragons. You've
great title.
It's free.
Didn't you get into the beta?
I was in the beta, yeah.
How is it?
I will download this and maybe give it another shot, but it's very much, it has the social game feel to it, where everything goes kind of slowly, and there are add-on things that they want you to buy in order to progress faster, which I will not be buying.
Because actually, before you carry on, it's quite strange. On the 29th of this month, this comes out, but on the 26th of April, you get the deluxe version with everything included.
You would think that this would come out on the same day. What the deluxe version is it's a packaged version of the game, so it actually has a game cart, so you don't need to download it, and it comes with a bunch of tickets, like that you would buy separately if you played the free version. Right. So that's all great and stuff, but who is going to wait to buy that version when they can get everything, next Thursday in the free version and then just buy the ticket separately?
Right.
Who wants a packaged version of the game that badly, of a game like this, which is more of like a social game?
Well, wasn't this a PC game?
It was an iOS game, I think, originally, and this is not exactly the same as that. This actually has, you do all of like the castle building, and you have like your area, and you do all that. But then on top of that, you can go into a dungeon, a 4-player dungeon, like a game like Monster Hunter or Ragnarok, and play through the floors of the dungeon with 3 other people online. And that's all in like 3D, like one of those games would be. The art in this game and the graphics look like it was done like as a high school student's graduation project.
Yeah, it looks awful. It's
terrible. That's like being kind, but it's got the social game feel to it. So, yeah.
So you think that'll work in Japan, being everyone's not social?
Well, they're playing them on their phones. I see why Sega's trying to tap the market on Vita. This will be like the first game like that,
It's almost like training wheels for people who aren't social.
Sure, yeah.
Help them get to the next level of hopelessness.
I thought it was an interesting idea because it mixes like an SRPG with the Monster Hunter kind of teaming up to kill things with the social side of everything. I thought that was interesting that they tried to put that all together into one game, but again, it looks and kind of plays like it was developed as like a high school graduation project. So I'm going to download it because it's free and just give it a shot. I know that some people out there will be addicted to this game, but I don't think this is going to be a good game at all.
Okay.
Yeah, and based on my experience, I've played it. I was in the beta. Yeah.
Okay, we got another Konami game, Little King Story, Vita.
Ooh.
Yeah, we do. This was a Wii game, the first game in this now series. And it was kind of a sleeper hit on Wii. It didn't sell well at all, but people really, really seem to dig it. It's ranked constantly in like the top 20 games on Wii charts that that are out there from various people. And this is the new one. They've adopted a new art style for it, which looks a lot more serious. I don't know if you've seen the art for the Wii game, but it was much, much different, much more kind of cartoony. This is cartoony, but the little king on the cover looks incredibly serious.
He does, doesn't he?
Yeah, he really does. So people were complaining about that straight off, but I'm cautiously optimistic because the Wii game was so good. But again, one word, Konami.
Stephen,
this is also priced outrageously.
Yeah.
And it's also retailing at like $6,900.
What was the scores in Famitsu? Did you know? Do you have them
What's
to
that?
hand? The Little King Story. Do you have them to hand?
Was it in there?
Yeah, it was in there. I think it was like 3 8s and a 9 or something like that. Or maybe 3 8s.
It was given it was 4 8s.
Oh, 4 8s, straight 8s. Okay.
Oh, okay.
Which, with Famitsu, that means who knows?
6,400 yen.
Does that mean money tuxedo?
Wow. Straight 8s in Famitsu can mean anything. I mean, yeah, I don't know. I don't even know how to interpret that. So many games get in that 7 to 8 territory that it doesn't really mean anything.
Right.
So again, on this one, I don't think I'll pick it up day of, but if word of mouth on it immediately is really good, I will pick it up.
Cool. Okay, and the last one we've got on this list is At Field. It's an action golf game.
I actually think this looks like fun. Did you guys ever play Kirby's Dream Course on the Super Nintendo?
Yes.
No.
This kind of reminds me a little bit of that.
This is like mini golf, right? It's like mini golf in space.
Yeah, it's like golf mixed with mini golf. Like the courses are the size of golf courses, but it's like the mini golf dynamics.
Right.
Of like doing crazy things with the ball and hitting it like through crazy little areas or getting it to go the right way. And this is actually a game that's coming out at a discounted price as well. This is going to be about 4,000 yen retail, and on Amazon it's currently $32.64. So that's very cheap.
Yeah, well, for Japanese.
For a Japanese game.
Yes, for a Japanese game. There we go. That's the magic word.
Yeah, so another one that I will wait, and if word of mouth is decent, I'll probably check it out, because I think it looks, I was watching the video earlier today, and I think it looks like it could be quite fun. So,
right. Cool. Idle Master, we missed that one. Idle Master, I don't know, have you ever played one of these games?
No. How about you guys?
Never. I think the closest
If I did, I wiped it from my memory.
Yeah, the closest I got to this was that Dream Club on the Vita.
Yes.
Well, Dream Club Mahjong is coming on next week.
That's is that next week?
Yeah, Mahjong Dream Club. They got 3 7s and an 8. That's for Xbox 360.
Okay.
Oh, it is. Oh, because
Yep.
it's not on the Xbox 360 website because I looked.
It's already gone.
Yeah, it's not even on there. Wow.
Every 5th refresh, they show it. Maybe something like that.
Oh, really? Oh.
No, I don't know.
No, I haven't. I didn't see it. So, yeah, it's something I don't think I'd
It's
ever.
Mahjong and it's boobies.
Well, it's the same. It's the same. Isn't it the same girls from the Dream Club?
One's got
the Vita?
blue hair, black hair, and red hair. So,
Is it not the same girls from the Vita game?
I don't remember.
You don't remember?
I remember with the
Banana?
the omelet.
The banana in her mouth.
Oh no, I did the when she draws the picture of with the ketchup, but you have to draw it for some odd reason. Every place I've been to, they draw it for you, but you have to draw the picture, and I squirted it, messed it all up. And she's like, Joe's this name, and it was completely screwed up. I was like, Joe, and I like busted out laughing when at the arena when I was testing it. What was it in Roppongi Arena? And yeah, it was the first time I laughed out loud at the whole event of 30 games I played. It was like, this is fun.
Funny.
But yeah, if they have anything like that, I eat some omelets while playing Mahjong.
There you go.
Maybe they need a food version, just food.
Food. Oh, a game that you might be interested in Steven. This is not a Japanese game, though. It's MotorStorm RC. It's 800 yen for the Vita and PS3. It's a great little game.
Great game?
If you like RC cars, if you like Micro Machines, it's like that.
Sweet.
But it's not Japanese, so let's move on.
Anything to keep me from saving my money so that I don't buy the Ultimate Steel Battalion bundle.
There you go.
Helmet and jacket.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. It's on the outline. I put it on and I actually wrote, this one's for Steve.
Yeah, I see that. I'm just preempting you here. So just keep me from having 35,000 yen in my wallet, $400 in my wallet. So I don't.
Is that? Oh yeah, it is, isn't it? Because you get a jacket, some kind of.
You get like a satchel, a jacket, and like an earthquake helmet.
Man, how many of those are they making? Did they say?
It's just a special edition. You'd probably have
that's
to
like a
pre-order
special edition. Though I doubt that many of those get made.
I think it's pretty crazy.
I could imagine Steven sitting there in his apartment with the helmet on and the jacket on, the satchel over him with like water or rations in this satchel, screaming at his Xbox.
8.0 earthquake, just playing my game. It's more real.
So, but you're going to pick this game up though, right? Steel Battalion.
I'm going to totally pick this game up.
Wow.
It's also they also have a bundle with the soundtrack for 9,000 yen. I don't even know about that. I think I'm just going to get the game vanilla style.
Oh, it's a leg bag? It attaches to your leg?
Attaches your leg?
It's a leg bag, yeah. It straps around your leg.
Thigh ones?
Yeah, it's one of those thigh ones, yeah.
Oh, actually, it's just a cap, but it looks like a helmet.
Oh, what? That's...
What a rip.
Huh.
See, if you can't do it half-assed. If you're going to you have to go, and it's got to be like industrial grade. They
especially with the name
a grenade right
Battalion
next to it, and everyone was fine.
Yeah.
Well, get your cosplay on, Steve, for TGS.
There you go.
I'll just hang out at the Capcom booth collecting money.
Cool. Okay, so before I totally messed up with the Media Create, right?
Yes.
So I found it again. So number one was on the 3DS was Pokemon and Nobunaga's Ambition.
No, it's a DS game, isn't it?
What?
Oh yeah, it's a DS game. Yeah, there you go.
Yeah, and Pokemon Black and White 2 are both their DS games as well when they come out later.
Is that the original Nobunaga's Ambition?
It's Pokemon and Nobunaga mixed up.
The most ridiculous crossover ever.
What?
It's pretty nuts.
Right, look in the
That's sacrilegious.
Okay, go down to the very bottom.
Yeah, I see it.
There you go. But to be
Why
honest,
is Pokemon before Nobunaga's Ambition is so wrong. It should be Nobunaga's and Pokemon.
Nah, Pokemon sells a lot more. But saying that, though, the amount of used copies I've seen in the store already is ridiculous. I think people have just gone, what the hell's this? They didn't realize what it was. They've just seen, like, it says Pokemon on it.
Right. Well, that's,
And they think, it's another
Pokemon. Two
Pokemon
unlikely
game.
big IPs and just crash them together.
The amount of used copies I've seen, it's like 8-9 used copies in one store I saw, and I was like, wow, obviously people are just buying it because of the name and not realizing what kind of a game it is. Because that's what it tells me when I go into the store and see so many used copies so early on. You know, because a game like this it takes a long time to go through, right? And the little kiddies have probably gone, oh my god, what's going on?
Yeah, what is this?
What is
Japanese
this?
history. They're not going to be able to pick it up.
So a Nintendo. A 3D, it's not a 3DS game, it's just a DS game, came in number one with 172,000 units. That's pretty impressive for, saying that though, it's Pokemon, right? But number two was Shining Blade, it's an RPG by Sega on a PSP, which was 122,000, so that's pretty good as well. So the games that are coming out on the PSP, they're killing it, and the Vita's nowhere.
Yeah.
Which is quite crazy. If you look at
baffling.
I remember, Martin, when we were slamming 3DS during its bad drought, and we're like, if they don't get their act together soon, even though these games on the horizon are coming out, they're going to be screwed regardless, because there's just no way they can compete with Vita. And it's what's happening.
It's the opposite, Sam, isn't it?
It's totally the opposite.
It just shows you how strong Nintendo's IP is. The launch was pretty poor. The 3DS launch in Japan was pretty poor. But it just shows you how strong their IP is, because people basically just said, okay, well, I'm going to wait because Mario's coming and I know it's going to be quality. Mario Kart's coming, that's going to be quality. Kid Icarus is coming, that's going to be quality. You know what I mean?
It's the point where it seems like they can't fail now.
Yeah, it's nuts. I think it's unbelievable. But yeah, good on them. And I, as I said back in those days, I wanted Nintendo to surprise me and make good on themselves, because back in the day, like, the Super Nintendo was my favorite console.
Yep. Yeah, me too.
You know?
Yeah,
So
who wasn't?
I didn't want to see Nintendo fail. And again, they've shown everyone by dropping the price. I mean, the price cut was huge. They've come in with quality games. They've just said, okay, just wait for them. We'll bring them when they're ready, and that's exactly what they've done. Very surprised. Whatever. Yeah, One Piece is still is number 4. So that's already sold almost 800,000 units.
It'd be interesting to see if that one hits the million mark or not. It probably won't, but maybe eventually through some sort of budget re-release and all of that comes down the pipeline.
Right.
I do kind of wonder if that will somehow manage.
Yeah, I mean, in the top 10, there's 3 PSP games. There's 1 DS game.
Yeah, still pushing the software, PSP.
Yeah, there's 1 PS3 game, and the rest are 3DS.
Yep.
So it's 4 3DS games, which the same as last week is Hatsune Miku, Mario Kart, Monster Hunter, Mario and Sonic at the London Olympics.
All right.
So yeah, so 3DS is still kicking ass. We got some tweets, right?
Okay.
So you want to... Actually, Crackalakin Z asks, Steven, you ready for some food fight?
All right.
He asks...
Itadakimasu.
Yeah, itadakimasu. Takoyaki versus yakisoba.
Oh, wait. What's going on topping-wise on the yakisoba? If there's katsuobushi, the bonita, they have these bonita shavings.
Sure, but you put that on
when you throw them on the
too.
hot. I don't put it on anything, but sometimes they just chuck it when it's tangled in with the yakisoba, which is like chow mein, essentially, Chinese chow mein with Worcester sauce. But when they put it on there, it gets all tangled in there, and you can't get it out. And then it's DOA for me, because it basically looks like maggot shavings just dancing on hot food.
You don't like the bonita flakes.
No, I hate it.
Oh,
I love it.
To me, it's in the soba. I would just say, no.
That's
they put that on.
That's a deal breaker.
Because
it's a deal breaker.
When they put that on like okonomiyaki and it dances,
yes,
it's so
checked out.
Charming.
I just scoop it and throw it into the gutter.
No,
really,
it's beautiful.
I think it's great.
Yeah, me too.
It tastes like light fish jerky. I think it's quite good.
I don't know how that even conjures up good images.
Well,
it's because it dances when you put it on. It puts on like a little display for you.
I'll take that over like gallons of mayonnaise any day.
Yeah.
Screaming.
So anyway, imagine your favorite toppings for either of these, Steve. Takoyaki or yakisoba with your favorite toppings.
Yakisoba, AAA all the way.
Okay. How about you, Martin?
I ate yakisoba just before we started to record. So
you get instant UFO.
And
proper.
No, it's proper. I took a photograph for it as well, so I'll put it in a thread.
Nice.
Get some egg in there. Like just drop a big egg in.
There was egg in there. There was
win. As long as you get an egg.
Lots of niku. There was lots of yasai, vegetables. Yeah.
Takoyaki doesn't have a chance.
And takoyaki, I hate octopus.
Oh, that'll do it.
So
how can you hate octopus?
Because it tastes like keshi gum.
Okay.
It tastes like an eraser, and it's like I ain't eating that. I don't want to eat an eraser. What's your feeling on taco?
Where do I live?
Without it, you live in Osaka though, so
I live in Osaka.
There's no chance for you.
If you don't know, Osaka is by far the takoyaki capital of Japan. I'm taking takoyaki any day.
Any day?
Any day. I love yakisoba too, so don't let that deter yakisoba's wonderfulness. Oh man, Osaka takoyaki is normal, so epic.
Because he said festive food in that.
Okay.
So
if I go to
if I
go to a festival, if I go to a matsuri and I'm going and visiting the yatais, that are all set up there.
You eat Yakuza food, basically?
Yeah, Yakuza food, exactly. In Osaka.
You get a free tattoo with every meal.
What's that? Yeah. Little pinky in there.
Yeah, free tattoos with every meal.
Yeah.
one day tattooing like a pinky stub in your takoyaki every 5th takoyaki.
Nom nom nom. Cool. Okay. Right. What else? Stephen, you want to go with the next one?
What's that?
Read the next one.
Go ahead.
I said you.
Okay. We're scrolling.
Scrolling.
Where are we going?
Go.
All right, Scrackalackin'. What's coming out in Japan in the next few months that's worth looking forward to other than Tokyo Jungle?
Okay.
Guys?
I'll tell you what games I'm pretty much picking up. It might not, it is what it is, I guess.
That's by GS Carp.
Okay, yeah. JS Carp, right?
JS, thank you.
Yes.
1:09 a.m. I'm not very...
Games that I have reserved, that I have tickets for reserved. I have Mushihime-sama HD for the 360, which is a cave shmup, shoot 'em up. If you're a fan of those, yeah, Mushihime-sama.
Now. All right.
Yeah. I have Code of Princess for the 3DS reserved, which is a 2D side-scrolling brawler from a couple of the dudes who worked on Guardian Heroes for the Saturn. So looking forward to that one. Next few months, I guess we could count Persona 4 for the Vita, coming out in June. Looking forward to that. I think those are the only 3 games that I have guaranteed reserved right now.
How
about you guys?
I haven't got anything. I've got nothing on reserve.
Okay.
At the moment, I can't really put anything on reserve because I just don't know what kind of cash I'm gonna have. Mm-hmm. With my my budget being so slim, so I basically don't really know until like the week it's coming out really, as to what I'm going to be buying, because obviously I've got to sell stuff before I can go buy it. So as to what I'm looking forward to, I can only say Tokyo Jungle, because that's about it, because it's so cheap anyway. I don't really have to think about it. I can just pick it up and buy it off the store as well and use the credit card.
Nice.
One more to bring up. I don't have it reserved yet, and Martin will probably chuckle a little bit, but I'm definitely picking up Dragon's Dogma in May.
Ooh, you've upgraded.
Yeah.
I'm definitely going to pick it up. I think it looks great. Another video just came out in this last week. I thought it looked amazing.
Yeah, the new videos, I've watched the new videos, and a lot looks like it's changed since when I played it at TGS.
Yeah.
And it's piqued my interest as well, to be honest. When I watched the videos, I was like, oh, okay. It looks like they've fixed a bunch of the things that I had a gripe with. So if they've actually addressed those issues, and from what I've seen on the videos, it looks like they have, my interest is pretty much peaked. And if it plays online like they've said it will with multiple people, I'll probably pick it up as well.
Nice.
So, I mean, there's nobody really does combat like the Japanese. You know the way it is, that you mean, like to watch and for their imagination of how you go about combat. Nobody really does it like Japan.
For better or worse.
Yeah, I mean, it's always got a style to it, and it's always memorable. I don't think anyone does action scenes and stuff like that as Japan can, and yeah, this is, as I said, it's piquing my interest. So yeah, I was interested when I saw the new videos. So, and also on the 360 version, you get the Biohazard demo, right?
Yeah, you get it for both of them. You just don't get it until much later with the PS3 version.
You get the PS3 one 2 months later.
Yeah.
So the 360 one comes out, it's a little bit after. It's in June, right?
I think so, yeah. Just a little bit after. But then the PS3 one's not until like August or something.
Yeah, something like that. So there's like a 2 month window for the demo. So that's pretty cool. It's a pretty cool incentive as well.
Sure.
So I'm looking. Yeah, I'll probably pick it up. I know I've gone round the block saying it, But when you've played something, when you've played something before and you see it and you think to yourself, I've played it and it wasn't good when I played it, and you get this image in your head. It's like, no, I don't want to play it because I've already played it. But you've obviously got to think, oh, that was like a year ago. So, yeah, coming round. So, yeah. Dragon's Dogma. Anything else?
Yes. One I have yet to mention is Max Anarchy. I am really looking forward to that.
Yeah, the Platinum guy. It's Platinum Games.
Yep, Platinum Games that just got a release. If Bayonetta has been confirmed in there, and that's coming out.
Yes. I played it at TGS.
After 4th of July.
I played it at TGS, and I really enjoyed it, the multiplayer.
Right, that was 2011, right, last PG. It's been a while, about last 6 TGS, months.
Yeah, played it last year. I thought it was a lot of fun. So, there's another one. Christ. I'm not even thinking that far ahead. So I don't, as I said, I don't really look games. If it's not on the horizon, I'm not looking. If you know what I mean.
You mentioned pre-ordering a game, and I don't know. That's how far I'm looking right now. It's like pre-order. That many games you have like Steel Battalion. You won't have to pre-order to get probably.
Sure.
I know I'll get that. Yeah.
Yeah. No, it's something I haven't.
I usually do it as more of a reminder to myself. I get all my tickets in a row, and I know. You
start crying. You go, "Oh my god, how much money I'm going to spend?"
Yeah, no, not too bad recently. Actually, it's been pretty fair for the last little bit, I guess.
Cool.
I think I need to catch up on some Western games so I don't lose. So I keep sharp. To hit some SSX. To be honest, I'm not going to mention any more than that, but I want to play that bad.
Cool. Okay, so. Neospawn asks, what are the chances of a sequel being made for Shadows of the Damned? 0. It didn't.
It was in the bargain bin at the store yesterday.
Yeah, I constantly see it.
I think $20, here. 2,000 yen.
Yep.
I've seen it for even cheaper.
You have?
Yeah.
Really? I might buy it. Let me know.
I've seen it for. Oh no, that was secondhand. Sorry. But it was still 980 yen.
So cheap.
Yes, 980 yen. Yeah, there's no way they're going to make a sequel for this. I mean, I think it sold like 16,000 units, didn't it, in Europe or something? Something horrible.
Where did it? What territory did it sell best in? North America?
Probably. But I don't even think it sold particularly well in North America. But it was an EA Partners game, wasn't it? EA published it.
I think so.
It was developed by Grasshopper manufacturers, Suda51. I mean, it was a great game.
They've got a shmup coming out, don't they?
It's out?
It just came out, didn't it? $10.
Something like that, yeah.
Xbox Live, yeah.
But
that I need to get to. That's what I would need.
Yeah, you should go buy that now. Not now you can see.
Yeah, now that I can see.
But yeah, it was a Suda51 game. I mean, don't get me wrong, it's a good game. I really enjoyed it from what I played of it. It was another one where I had to take it back to the store and sell it because there was other stuff coming out and I needed the cash. But seeing as it's really cheap, I might go pick it up. God, you're making me spend money. But yeah, it was a great game. It was extremely funny. It had a lot of personality to it. There's no way they're going to do a sequel, though. I don't think so. There's no way. It bombed. I'd be surprised if they even made their money back. You know, I mean, I don't even think they would have, or EA would have made their money back, yet let alone Grasshopper Studios. And saying that though, EA didn't do any favors by not doing any marketing for it. I don't think I saw any marketing anywhere for it, and I think obviously that's a problem. But yeah, there's no way it's coming out a sequel, which is kind of a shame. Right, Kyle, do you want to take the next one, Neospawn?
All right, let's take a look. The Monster Hunter question, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, we got a question from Neospawn. Another question for the show. I've heard Japan has a retreat or a camping club for Monster Hunter. Is this true, and can you elaborate? I don't know if they have anything that would be considered a retreat or a camping club. Japan is
Off to the
certainly
mountains.
Yeah, Japan is certainly very addicted to Monster Hunter. Do you guys know anything that would be along the lines of a retreat or a camping club?
I think it was just more like a moving caravan going
Yes.
major city.
Yes, they do have the moving caravan. They call it's the Monster Hunter Festa, and they do it every year. It's kind of like a Monster Hunter Matsuri. And last year in 2011, they visited through July and August. They visited Nagoya, Tokyo, Fukuoka, Sapporo, and Osaka. And then in October, they swung back down through Tokyo, or I guess not swung
We
back.
reported on that one of the podcasts, but we never went.
Yeah. When it came through Osaka, I really wanted to go too, but I was really busy, so I wasn't able to make it. But I think I will definitely try to go to this next year because this would be very interesting. But I know what they do there is essentially they sell certain goods that you can only get there. People gather together and play Monster Hunter. You know, they call it like the Kari Matsuri or like hunting festival. And yeah, it's just all Monster Hunter all the time. It's like a big festival that they do. So that would be very cool. But yeah, it is a caravan that kind of get things set up. And yeah, Capcom just has a big Monster Hunter party in a bunch of big cities. So that would definitely be interesting.
Is this something that you'd go to if you had the time?
Me, for sure. Yeah, I was actually planning on going last year and just couldn't make it in the end.
Are you going to take your Frankenstick?
No. I don't take that thing anywhere.
Do you
Dress it up?
Do you not use it at all, or do you just use the touchscreen?
When I liked using it for Monster Hunter when I was playing lots of water bosses that you fight underwater, because without it, it kind of sucks. But I hate fighting the bosses underwater anyway. Period.
Right.
I wish that just wasn't in there because it's really annoying. So I try to avoid them, and when I do fight them now, I just kind of grin and bear it and get through it.
Righty. Okay. Right. The last tweet is from Arman5K, and he asks, "Did everyone get their makeup stand? And what is your best use for it so far?"
Okay, I got mine.
Okay, go for it.
I'm gonna rob Toyama's answer to that one. Toyama developed Gravity Daze, and he put out a picture of his copy of Kid Icarus, and he on his little makeup stand he had his PS Vita.
Wow,
it was black on black. It just looked perfect.
That's pretty good.
And
So, yeah, I thought that was funny because Toyama actually bought the game just after Gravity Daze, put it out, and there in the background it was his little stand with this PlayStation Vita on there. PS Vita. It was beautiful. Everyone was like ignoring that box of Kid Icarus and going, "What's up with that?"
Nice.
Yeah, because I mean, actually, if you put your Vita on there, the actual stand has a little cutout, so you can put in your headphones.
Yeah.
Right.
But so you can actually
same spot too. So
it's pretty much the same spot. So you can actually hook it up to the the USB cable. You can have it charging on the stand as well.
right when it's charging.
Yeah,
exactly. It's big enough. Oh, it's big enough where the bulky part can go right through. Right.
Yes.
Oh, nice. Nice to know.
So yeah, that does that. Kyle, anything?
Well, I used my my add-on slide pad. It was my little receipt holder because it kind of goes down in, and I would throw all my receipts in there. I haven't figured out as good a use yet for the table stand thing that came with Kid Icarus. But I think next time I take a bath, I'll try and use it as my little bath chair and see how it works out. In Japan, in the baths, they have these little stools that you can sit on. There's usually one in the bath, and you kind of sit on that while you're like scrubbing yourself. I'll try that out and see how it goes.
Cool. I use it for an iPhone stand.
Okay.
Yeah, I was just putting my iPhone on there, especially horizontally. That would be good in the bathtub as well.
Nice. Yeah, that could work.
Yeah, it doesn't work so well with the iPad. Because if you hit the top of your iPad,
it's gonna flip.
It flips it. Yeah, so be careful if you're using an iPad. I mean, I can use it for the iPad. You just got to be gentle with it. That's all. You can't be crazy with it. But yeah, it does work. It's fine. I've actually got it.
The Vita fits better than the 3DS. I'm just trying them both out.
Really? I mean, I realize it's not like custom designed for the 3DS. It's just like a little lip that flips down. But that is pretty funny.
Well, actually, I use my my iPad is like a second window of my PC. I don't know if you know that you can use your iPad as like a second screen for your PC.
Really?
Yeah. So I've got my iPad on the stand as like a second monitor to my
mirror
PC.
image.
No, it's not a mirror image. No, it's like if you've got two monitors, you can have like a dual screen.
Oh, in tandem. Okay.
Yeah, so it's the same thing, and it works pretty well.
Oh.
Sitting on the stand, it's pretty cool. Yep, it works. It's all good.
You mean you can drag something over to your iPad? That's impossible.
No, you don't drag it. You use the mouse from on the PC, right?
Uh-huh.
And it shows up on the screen.
So it's just acting as a display,
It's
I
just
guess.
acting as a display.
Oh.
That's all.
Nice to know.
Yeah, so that works. I mean, on the stand now, that works. So that's good. What else have I used it for? Yeah, I think that's about it. So, a Vita and iPad stand for when you got you.
Yes.
Which is, it's good. All good. So, yeah, I think we should kick off and then finish and wrap up. Yeah.
All right.
So we wrap it up.
Sounds good.
So, okay, so house cleaning. Right, if you want to get in touch with us, it's RedSunGamer@gmail.com. If you want to follow us on Twitter, it's @RedSunGamer. If you want to go to our YouTube page, it's RedSunGamer.tv because Sega got us kicked off. Thank you, Sega.
Rub that in.
Yeah, rub it in. If you want to get in touch with myself, it's on the Twitter, it's DJmizuhara. If you want to get in touch with Steven on Twitter, it's
Steve_RedSunG.
okay. If you want to get in touch with Kyle on the Twitter, it's
Kyle22. 22 is all spelled out, no numbers.
okie dokie. And Kyle's got a nice YouTube page as well, which he does some nice gameplay videos or explanation of what's what. He did an unboxing of the Japanese Kid Icarus, and that's up on there as well. And how did they find that, Kyle?
Yeah, that channel on YouTube is Skygene, SKYGHENE, followed by the numbers 22.
Cool. Alrighty. Anything else we should be plugging that we haven't plugged?
You can plug your next week's podcast.
What, number 37?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Midlife
okay.
Crisis.
Yeah, yeah.
God, yeah. There you go. We've already got a title for next week's podcast, Midlife Crisis. Thanks, Steve.
There you go. My job's done.
Yeah.
See you in 2 weeks.
Are you not here next week?
I'm probably going to have to take another Cosmo magazine quiz.
Nice. That sounds great.
Good on you. Good on you.
We'll see. Otherwise, me and Marie Antoinette.
Okay. No problem. Okay, cool. Well, so that's been episode 36 of the RedSunGamer podcast. Hope you enjoyed it, and we'll see you again next week. Let's go to some of this.
Let's go to some of this.